going here. Need to warm up my hands. Okay, let's see. Let's do a quick warm-up. I have not played it all today, so bear with me. Alrighty. Okay, not too bad. Gotta get my fingers loosened up a little bit. Sorry guys, bear with me. Getting the metronome set up a certain tempo. Okay, speed up just a hair. Hey, what's up, Craig? How you doing, man? Just getting my hands loosened up. Bear with me, guys. Okay, let's gotta go quite a bit faster than that. Give me just a second here. I'm gonna adjust something. Okay, getting there. Alright, getting a little more loosened up. Not bad, not bad. Bring it back down for just a second. Oh wait, how's it go? That works. Bring it down just a hair more. Okay. And wouldn't you know the G string's already out of tune, just slightly. Didn't even do any bends yet. That's kind of funny. But anyways, hello, one current viewer. Is that you, Craig? I think that might be you. How you doing, man? You having a good Sunday out there? Turn that a little bit lower. Okay. Getting this set up. Sorry, guys. I think I'm a little more loosened up. Just like a hair more loosened up. Okay, it's set up normal. Cool. Well, I hope you guys are having a fantastic Sunday. Thank you for joining me in this very boring experience that is a grown man playing with a metronome. It's very entertaining, I'm sure. Let's see. You're doing well. You hope me and my wife are well. Appreciate that, Craig. Yeah, I'm glad to hear you're doing well, by the way. It's good to hear, man. Got to stay healthy and got to stay well in this wonderful heat. I'm sure it's pretty terrible where you're at, you know. So I'm not going to complain too much about the weather. Sure, you got a little bit worse off than we do with the weather. All right. Let's get this set up here. All right, so I have like a whole plethora of pics to show you guys. Why? Why not? I don't know. What the heck? And hopefully you guys can hear my mic okay, and it's not like too loud or too quiet or anything. Let me know if it needs to be up or down or whatever. Like, I can only hear what I hear through my headphones, so I don't know how good that sounds to everybody else. But yeah, I have a whole plethora of pics I found, and I mean a lot of them. The ones I got over the years from like different things, like from students or from like, you know, just random people and whatnot. Yeah, I mean I have like a whole handful of pics. I got, let's see what the first one is here. This one is the Grand Ole Opry pic. I'll show you guys this one here. This one a student gave me a couple years ago. It's pretty cool. I don't use it because it's really thin and I don't want to mess it up. It's kind of like a memento pic. Very cool, very neat. Never been to the Grand Ole Opry, but fun memento. What's another good pic here? I used to use these a long time ago. These are 2mm, the turtle ones of the Dunlopd. You can't really see it because this isn't super blurry. But yeah, the little turtle guy on there. They were alright. I liked them for a while. And then I also tried going down a size to, where was it? I tried these Gator 1.5mm pics. I've had these, you know, they were alright. I used those for maybe like a year. Then I upgraded to like, you know, the silver Gator, which is the 2mm. Where is it at here? Yeah, this is the right one. The silver Gator guy. What else? Any other good pics to talk about? Of course, a lot of people's favorite. I got the old Jazz 3 pic with the rounded tip. Wasn't really a big fan of this pic. It's kind of awkward for my hand. It just feels weird. I got fat fingers, so that's probably why. Oh, and this one, you guys know what this one is. This is a Bald Shredder signature pic. Look at that, Richard James edition. I don't use this one because I don't want to mess it up, but I like the graphic design on that one. Okay, yeah, and I got like a whole handful more pics, but let me make sure I'm not ignoring you guys. Hey, Doroteo, what's up, man? Yeah, there was no live stream last Sunday, unfortunately. I had some other stuff pop up. I had some lessons that I had to reschedule, and unfortunately, Sunday was the only day to do it. So I was like, alright, I gotta sacrifice the old stream for the day. Craig says it's like having a hot, wet blanket over your face. Oh, man. That sounds awful, dude. Use the Tortex, but only 1mm. Ain't nothing wrong with that, Craig. 1mm is, you know, thick enough, honestly. Doroteo, use the Dunlopd Flow Pix 1.5. They're great. Well, that's awesome, man. Yeah, the Flow Pix are great. I use the 2mm Andy James Flow Pick, and it's pretty sweet. It's this big old fat thing here. Let's see here. Martin says those are thick. I'm at 0.7 or 0.8. Oh man, well nothing wrong with that. You know, a lot of great players use those. I think like what, Paul Gilbert or one of those guys uses like lighter picks. I know Richard does. The Bald Shredder uses lighter picks. Wasabi, what's up, Clutch? How you doing, man? I like that Les Paul style axe. Nice color. Thanks, Sienna. Appreciate that. Yeah, this is the let me put these picks down. This is the AIO, what do they call it? The Les Paul Sm57 guitar that I reviewed in that last video I uploaded. I like the headstock too. I like the little design. It's kind of hard to read, but it has like a little cross and an AIO thing. Pretty sweet, which is all-in-one guitars, by the way. And just so you can see the back side here, really shiny Grover tuners there. But yeah, this thing's pretty nice. You know, when they sent this guitar to me to review, I was not expecting it to play like it does or to sound like it does. I was like, we'll see. Like, I know Max talked, you know, highly of them, so I was like, well, they might be pretty good. Then I took it out of the box and I was playing on it, and man, the tone of this thing, this is my new personal guitar, I think. I think I'm going to use this for everything for now. I mean, I almost overplay, and I make more mistakes with this guitar because it's so easy to play. Like, they set it up so nice that my bad habits are, like, creeping up on me. So now I have to, like, relearn to touch everything even lighter than I was, and, like, not so tense. It's like, oh my gosh. Other guitars, you know, is more work because I guess I wasn't setting them up as good as they were doing it. These guys are, like, pros, so obviously they know what they're doing more than I do. Let's see here. Yeah, this is made in South Korea, Sienna. You have South Korean parts that are sourced from, I guess, different parts of Korea. I'm not sure if North Korea is involved. I think it's mainly just South Korea, though. I don't think North Korea would be helping out. But it just said Korea, so I'm just assuming South Korea. But yeah, then they ship it to, I forget what town it is, but it's like near LA, here in California. And they do the old setup job. Web strings carry great picks. Really, Chuck? That's interesting. I've never heard of those. But I'll have to check those out, man. But yeah, picks. Going back to picks. Sorry, I got kind of sidetracked. So yeah, I have a whole handful more picks to show you guys. Why? Because, I don't know, it's show and tell day, I guess. And why not? So this is one somebody brought back from Hawaii. A student gave me this one. This is a Hawaii shark pick. Kind of cool. Kind of neat. Don't use this one because I don't want to break it. It's kind of light. And I think I'm too aggressive, so I'd probably break that pick on accident. I don't remember where I got this one. This one doesn't have like any logo. It's just a weird looking freaking triangle thing. I don't know. I don't like this pick. It's way too fat, way too many edges. I guess it's cool. Not my thing. Oh, of course, another Richard James pick because, you know, me and Richard are bros in a way. So I got the old Tiger versus Dragon guitar pick there. All right, need some... Cue the music. Oh, here we go. I got this signature Joe Satriani pick. Right? And it has a little signature thing on the bottom, but I forget what tour this is. I think this is like his latest one or something. One of my other students gave me this one. Let me go back here. Hey, what's up, Balt Shredder? Alright, I already showed you that guy. I already have a repeat of that pick. Here's a no-name Chinese pick that came with a guitar. That's literally like, I don't know, probably like a .70 or something. I never use that. It's alright. Here's another one that's really like nothing on it. It's just kind of junky little beat-up, dirty thing. And more purple picks. And I got a whole handful of other ones, but I don't want to bore you guys to death. Why am I showing you those? I don't know. Something to do. Because, you know, we're here to be super entertaining, and that's entertaining, I guess, to some people. I don't know. Anyways, random riff time. Let's see if... Yeah, a bunch of random noodling and nonsense. Super sloppy playing. But yeah, no excuses. I really haven't had time to practice. Alright, what do we get here? Durotio, did you get a haircut? It looks stylish. Thanks, man. No haircut. This is called the lazy hair look. You know what I mean? When you just want to, like, not put any effort into your hair, you just slick it back and hope it stays in place. Oh, man. Yeah, I try to save money on haircuts, especially now, since, you know, I'm trying to find more work and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just grow it out. Just slick it back, wear hats and stuff for now. I ain't paying a haircutter $30 for a haircut. I'll cut my own hair before that happens. Too much of a tightwad. Ceramic humbuckers rule. Heck yeah, man, that works. Alright, let's see here. Let's get some jamming going with like a backing track, because That's more entertaining than just jamming by itself. So let's see if I can find a backing track to jam with real quick. And get my hands kind of warmed up and all that good stuff. Alright, let's see. Let's go metal backing tracks. I know a lot of you guys are metal heads. Metal. Dun, 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 dun. D minor epic melodic metal backing track. I don't know why. Let's just go with that.
Over the last 10 or 15 years.
Jeez, that was a loud commercial. The last 10 and 15 years. Oh, jeez. Alright, let me move some stuff around real quick so I can move my microphone. The rising cost of food. It's a very uplifting ad. Oh, I played over this backing track before, and I don't like that one too much. I think we've done that before. Let's try a different one we haven't done before. Which one does not look familiar? Here we go. Old school heavy metal backing track. Why not? Oh, that sounds like Metallica. Alright. Down just a hair. I need my Kirk Hammett moment. That's the old Kirk Hammett shred. And that's just random arpeggios, why not? Let's just throw those in there. Kirk Hammett backing track complete. I mean, it doesn't say Kirk Hammett backing track, but it might as well be Kirk Hammett. I don't know. It just sounds like it. What are we at here? Go back up, sorry. Bald Shredder has some Enya guitars on eBay store right now. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. Hear that, guys? There's some good guitars from the Bald Shredder for sale right now. You know, every time it's it Enya? I forget how you pronounce the guitar company, but every time you'd upload one of those videos, I'd always assume it was like the singer, Enya or Anya, which I like the singer, Anya, but I was like super confused at first, and I was like, Anya has her own set of guitars? And when I watched the video, it made sense. I was like, okay, it's nothing to do with Anya. Hello, Lester. What's up, Angry Trucker Bob? How you doing, dude? Needs more wah. Heck yeah. I need a wah pedal. And a cowbell. Good idea, Craig. I need a cowbell, too. What's happening here? Okay, there we go. Cowboys from Hell. Oh, like Pantera? Heck yeah, man. Cowboys from Hell is pretty awesome. She's doing guest vocals on my new album. That's great, man. That'd be awesome. If you can get Enya involved in something, I would be like fangirling. Is that what they call it? Fangirling? Alright, let's see here. Let's do some more jamming because my hands are not warmed up enough. Alright. Stiff as a log, man. Alright, we'll try to go with this one, I guess. That's a cool backing track, but I don't like the fact that... Oh, sorry, mic moved. But I don't like the fact that this, like, chord progression just repeats over and over the same way with the same, like, tension. There's no, like... I don't know, you guys get what I'm saying? Like, the backing track was kind of dull. It just played the same thing over and over. It's like, you can go to a different chord now. We're ready to play a different part. Anyways. Great modal melodic leads. Thanks, Doroteo. Appreciate that. Hey, what's up, Adib? How you doing, man? That was awesome. Thank you. I don't know if it's awesome. I feel pretty sloppy today, guys. This is like my worst. But it's okay. My hands are just not waking up the right way as they should be. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it in a little bit. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic Sunday out there and just a good weekend in general. You're all staying happy, healthy, all that good stuff. Whatever it is you're doing on your Sundays. Whether that be, you know, slicking your hair back in a room and going live on YouTube, or if you're going to church, or whatever it is you're up to. Going to Carl's Jr., I don't know. Alright, let's try some more backing track stuff, shall we? Entertainment, man, entertainment. I could sit here and talk, but I'd rather just play with you guys. You know, I think that'd be a little more entertaining. Let's see, Richard. Does that AIO play better than your Schecter? Yeah, you know what? It's going to sound controversial, man, but I think the AIO plays better than the Schecter, and it's... Heck, I'd say it probably plays as good as the Charvel that I had, so... I don't know how to describe it. Like, the neck is weird. Like, it's not... I don't know, I probably should give a better view of this, but, like, it's not a super thick neck like you would expect a Les Paul to have, you know? Which I was expecting it to have, like, a big fat neck. I mean, it's a little thicker than I'm used to, but it's not, like, some big fat thing. And I know that could be taken out of context, but don't take it out of context. Anyways, with this being said, it feels pretty comfortable. It kind of reminds me of, like, an Ibanez neck, but, like, a little flatter. Kind of similar to the Schecter necks, right? It's kind of, like, really super slim feeling. But yeah, the playability, man, like I make more mistakes with the guitar because it's so easy to like to play on that I screw up because I'm like playing too much and like I'm used to other guitars being built differently, and yeah, it's just it takes less effort, so I feel like an idiot. Satriani. Yeah, I wish, man. You know, if I could get Satriani as my teacher, like if I ever get rich, I would hire that guy to teach me for sure. Because of the pro setup. Yeah, exactly. You got that right. And I'm not a pro at setting stuff up, just so you guys know. Like Richard, he's the pro at setting stuff up. But me, I'm not. I mean, I barely know what the heck I'm doing. I mean, playing wise, sure, but not like setting up stuff. So yeah, when this thing came, I realized how much I don't know about setting up. I was like, this thing is, yeah, it's like night and day difference. It makes like the other guitars I played, like the Fesley and the Glary, feel like almost kind of like barbaric in a way. Like nothing against them, you know, they're good guitars for the price, obviously, but I mean, yeah, way different, way different. Richard didn't want to sell you his Charvel. On the Eco 5 pickups. Oh man. Alright, let's get some more jamming going. And let's see what we can do here. Alright, let's see what popped up that I haven't played on yet. Let's get some more jamming in. If my YouTube would work correctly on my phone. I'm like swiping. Nothing's working here. Okay, come on. No? Okay, there we go. Finally got out of it. My phone freezes up. I hate when it does that. Okay, let's see. Heavy metal backing track. An E minor. No, it's too cliche. Progressive metal backing track in C sharp minor. That sounds scary. That's gonna have weird timing probably. And I don't like weird timing. I'm not that cool. But we'll try it. Alright, that's enough of that. It gets to a point where like you do enough tweedly dweedlies and it just kind of blends into being the same thing. Like I like the backing track. I don't know if I call it progressive. Like it seems like it's standard time. Obviously it's weird kind of rhythms slightly, but I don't know if I call it like weird enough to be called prog. It's just kind of, It's like edgy, right? I guess. Anyways, what do we got here? AIO does incredible guitars one at a time to your specifications. Yeah, that is true, Chuck. You got that right. AIO, and the people that are really nice. Like I've only talked to Jin, but like the rest of them seem pretty friendly too. Like through emails they reached out, but mainly the owner himself I talked to on the phone, and he was super like mellow. Like I didn't know it was actually the owner at the moment. I was like, oh, whoops. Let's see if a set of Seymour Duncan JB Jazz humbuckers to put on it. Since word on the street is the Charvels come with weak medium output humbuckers. Oh man, wow. Yeah, I don't know much about that one, Doroteo. You know, the Charvel I had great pickups, but you know, maybe it's just dependent on the model. Seeing a real nice 80s melodic riffs. I love it. Thank you. Appreciate that. Richard, gotta go. Gotta edit some stuff for tomorrow. Okay. Do appreciate you coming by, man. You probably already bailed because I think this is delayed on my chat log. But if you haven't bailed yet, I hope you have a good rest of your Sunday. I was going to say weekend, but there's no weekend left. It's just Sunday. Well, anyways. Les Paul sounds amazing. Yeah, it sounds pretty good, man. Yeah, this guitar, man, I was pleasantly surprised by how it sounds. It just really, I don't know. There's a lot of tone going on, you know. It's not much for like a funk sound, like obviously like the Telly does better for funk and like that kind of style with like kind of bluesier or whatever. But this guitar does better for like rock and metal and whatnot. Not to say the Telly can't do that. It can do that. It's just not as good as this guitar for that genre. So this definitely works better for that style, I think. How's the neck angle? You know, pretty good. I mean, it just depends. Like, it's not like I'm not a big Les Paul guy, but it feels kind of similar, like a mix between Schecter and Ibanez. It's not like a Les Paul, like it is, but the neck is more similar to Ibanez. I guess I'm trying to say, which I like. I like Ibanez a lot, so that works for me. Where's Metal Dude? Seriously, I already saw that part. Okay. But yeah, hopefully you guys are having a good time. I'm going to do some more jamming with you here. Let's see what we can accomplish. And whatever that is. Good or bad, I don't know. See if I don't make a fool of myself. Let's see what other backing tracks we got. Unless you guys have a specific request about anything. Like if you have any questions like regarding technique stuff or like backing tracks you want to listen to or just whatever, let me know. I'm open to different things. Go back in there. Okay, here we go. In the meantime, I will try my hand at another backing track that pops up. One that I've not seen before. Here we go. What is this? Melodic metalcore in C minor. Only 89 beats per minute. That seems kind of slow for metalcore, but okay. The headphones. Oh yeah, it's not too loud. Okay. funny part is metalcore usually doesn't have solos. I mean, sometimes, like if you listen to some bands like Trivium or whatever, but yeah, anyways, you don't see that too often. Where are we at here? Les Paul style guitars are excellent for heavy metal rhythm playing. For sure, man, you got that right. The BPM is only a suggestion. Yeah, they're just like, you can stay with that or you can do your own thing. You know, it's up to you. What do I recommend to improve hand synchronization for left and right hand? Practice exercises? Yeah, we can go over that for sure, man. Really, it just depends. Like, you want to use a metronome for sure. Something I've been neglecting the last couple days. That's why I play so sloppy today, so forgive my playing. But yeah, usually when I'm on my top A game, like I'm using a lot of metronome exercises, and you have to do it every day. You can't just do it like once a week. It's not gonna work. Like if you want to be good at picking stuff and getting your hands synced up, you have to do it like an everyday routine, focused. So like, you know, doing little motor exercises like 16th notes, or doing triplet exercises and then running your left hand across while keeping the right hand the same. And it could be scales, it could be chromatic. I would recommend scales instead of chromatic, at least because like the problem with chromatic is like it's good for warming up, but it's 4 notes per string, right? You're never gonna do 4 notes per string in regular rock and roll. I mean, I like to mix it in. You might hear me do stuff like this. You may hear stuff like that, but it only works over certain things. So I'm adding those. Right. But my point is, you're not going to do that very often unless you're playing that kind of music, right? But most rock songs be doing 3 note per string exercises or 2 note per strings, like Pentatonic's 2 note, right? Or you might see the 3 note and the blues note. But usually it's 3 note per string. So it's good to work doing 3 note per string exercises. The problem with that also is that when you're doing 16th notes in triplets, you have an uneven note pattern because, you know, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and see how the timing's like the count's getting all over the place. So you're just keeping it like taka 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 taka. My point of that is like you're learning like syncing the hands together, which is important, and timing and all the other good stuff, but also you're learning how to actually constructively use like 3 note per string patterns, because like I said, you're not going to be busting out chromatic licks unless you're playing fusion or something. It's just not that common. But if you're playing regular rock and metal, focusing on those 3 note per string patterns, you're going to come across a lot of issues playing triplets and 16th note combinations, right? Because you're going to end up with an awkward like what's the word, like subdivision count. So yeah, working on 3 note per string patterns recommended, whether minor or major scale don't matter, and then just work on like keeping the motor going in your right hand for those 16th notes and adding the left hand after. And you could consolidate it to 2 strings if you don't want to do the whole shape. Like let's say if you're just doing the bottom 2 strings. And you can even just do the 2 strings like, you know, muted. Kind of going back and forth between those 16-note patterns. Anyways, hope that kind of helps. Trucker Bob, I've been jamming on my Monsoon most of the day today, hearing the big truck on the road up in Ohio. Oh man, that's crazy, dude. And you have the Mower PE100, makes it very easy to play away from home. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Heck yeah. The Monsoon looks pretty sick, especially the new one. I don't own any monsoons, but they look pretty sweet from what Richard told me. No mistakes, just happy accidents. Yes, good old Bob Ross. Oh man, Bob Ross is great, man. If you guys haven't seen my Bob Ross skits, I have a Bob Ross skit on YouTube I uploaded like 3 years ago, where he's like, Bob Ross plays guitar instead of painting, but instead of just playing guitar, some terrorists attack him and they want him to like paint instead of play guitar, and he has to like actually fight using ninja skills, and he kills these terrorist people in this building. It's really stupid and weird. I don't know why I came up with the idea, but yeah, if you want to see that, it's on YouTube. Just type in Bob Ross and Lester, and you'll probably see it. Anyways, moving on from there. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic, entertaining Sunday, watching a grown man sit in his house playing on his AIO guitar. Oh man. And no, there's no product placement or anything. I'm not being paid any commissions or kickbacks or whatever the heck. I was not offered any deal like that, so I have no benefit in trying to sell you anything. Alright, let's see here. Let's find a new backing track to jam with. Heavy metal in G minor. Okay, let's see what this sounds like after the ad. Let's hear this crazy ad, I guess. They really are awesome and easy to play. Leo James did a great job on the Monsoon. That's awesome, man. I'll have to check it out sometime in the future. Might be a possibility. That'd be kind of a trip, doing a review on the Richard James guitar. Okay, let's see what this sounds like. Wow, spacey. On the backing track, but it's like if I turn it down, it sounds like you barely hear it. That works. Kind of weird how like it builds up to like go down, if that makes any sense. It's kind of a weird backing track. Like it goes up and then it goes down. I don't know. Kind of a trip. Let's see. Oh my god, I need to check those out. Oh, you mean the Bob Ross thing? Oh yes, definitely. Economy picking with a 6-inch brush. Yeah, it's pretty silly. I don't know. I had this weird thing like a few years ago where I was making just random videos on YouTube and had like no, like, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, to be honest with you. I still don't really know what I'm doing half the time. Like sometimes I get these weird ideas and it's like, well, I think I'm gonna make some skits today, and I'll get like a random idea that makes no sense and I'm like, yeah, that sounds good, and I'll just film it. And then I might not get another skit idea for like, I don't know, another few months. So I'll just do like random playing videos and stuff. But then something will pop in my head like, oh yeah, what if Bob Ross was like, you know, like some, you know, retired commando, Marine, like ninja, CIA guy, and he paint, you know, instead of painting, he plays guitar and you know, throws people off a building. Like I thought, man, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know why. I always think weird stuff like that. So, yeah, every day is a struggle not to film weird crap. It's enough weird stuff on Adult Swim, I'm sure. You don't need my help. But very cool. Hope you guys are having a good Sunday out there, hanging out, listening to me play some awful shred noises for your the listening pleasure, or something like that. I don't know. Let's go ahead and listen to some more jammin'. By the way, almost forgot to mention something. Lately, I've been really digging this like tapping sequence, and it's a tapping sequence I use a lot lately. If you watch my channel, you probably have seen me do it. I just did it a little bit earlier too. Basically, you look in like, you know, if you're playing, how do I say it? Like, if you're in a minor key, right? And let's say I'm in like, say I'm in C minor for reference. So here on the 8th fret. If I count up and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 6th interval, I use that for a major 7 arpeggio, and I'd use it like a tapping sequence string skipping. So like if I'm playing here, it's a really fun thing. So what you do is like, you start with that 6th degree interval, right, from that minor, so that flat 6. So 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6. That's the start root right there. And you could also think it's kind of like doing their whole like. It looks like a minor arpeggio, right? But with that added note there, that makes it a major 7, right? So. And then what you do is you're tapping. Right, I'm going all the way up over here. Or you could just, you know, forget the middle note. If you just want a triad. For those that like the fret numbers, you think like 11, 13, 15, 18. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the G string and go 12, 13, 15. Kind of like U2. Then we're going to tap on 17. Then we go to the first string and you got this 11, 13, 15. And then I'm going to tap on the 16. So we have all together 11, 13, 15, 18. Alright, the next string, this is the G string I'm skipping, 12, 13, 15, 17. Then first string, so string skipping again, from G to E, and it's 11, 13, 15, 16. Then descending, and so, you know, it sounds good with different pickup positions too. You can also add in on the first string the 18. So this will work with different arpeggio sequences too. But this is the one I seem to fit the best for me, because when I'm playing riffs, right, like, oh hey, I'm in C minor pentatonic, and then from there I could, you know, impose, right, that G note, so I could play G minor pentatonic, and then from there I have that G sharp or A flat arpeggio sequence, that major 7, or I could do the tapping. And within that structure, you have these neat little dyad sounds. little dissonant, I know. Different intervallic relationships happening there. You could do like sixth intervals, fifths, right? Fourths if you wanted to, if you want to get that into it, but this fits nicely into that, so I can play a little riff like. And if you know you're connecting arpeggio shapes from here, that major, right there on that, that motion, right? So, sometimes you can even harmonize if you know what area you want to play in. It makes it a little trickier that way, but you can do that too. Trying to think of any other cool things you can mess around with for like that. Yeah, so besides that one, another go-to like I like doing a lot, also tapping, and you probably see me do this a lot as well. Sorry, it's just one of those licks I do a lot because I like the sound of it. It's doing like a pentatonic 3-note per string pattern thing, so I'm going. Alright, so. And that's just doing this little sequence of, you know, pentatonic here. So I'm going, and then go up to the, you know, if you want the frets, it's 8, 11, 13, right? I'm just tapping in the next box shape, and then I go to the 5th string, and that's that 10, 13, 15. Same thing on the next string. String skipping over, or not string skipping, sorry, moving over on the next string. 12, 15, 17. Next string down, 13, 16, 18. First string, I have this 15, 18, 20. Now that second lick I like doing is when you add a bend with the tap. Sorry, a little bit noisy. Now you could tap, release, and bend. Or, right, that kind of thing. Or you could kind of do a little bend at the tap. Different ideas to mess around with tapping licks. Kind of random, but anyways. I usually play in E Aeolian mostly. Okay, so just E minor. That's cool, man. Nothing wrong with that. E minor is a standard for a lot of rock tunes anyway. You're not going to run into like... You're never going to run into a band situation. Well, I shouldn't say never, but like you're never going to run into like a rock situation or like a bar band situation and somebody's going to be like, hey, we're going to play in, you know, G flat today. We're going to play in, I don't know, the C sharp minor. You don't really hear that too often in like regular context. You might hear it like, you know, in other styles of music, but you're not going to run into it that often. What do you recommend to improve your arpeggio sweep picking? I would say use a metronome. Definitely use a metronome. Sweep picking was one of the hardest things for me to improve on, and I still kind of suck at it. But one of the things about it that... How do you say it? And this is something that's going to be relative to the person, per se. I'll put the metronome on, but... There's two things about sweep picking. You gotta make sure you have your really nice, controlled, but light grip, right? So very loose and in control with the right hand. And then with your left hand, you want to be like really close to the fretboard. Relax your fingers and just kind of bounce one finger at a time. So you're not holding it down like a chord, but you're muting each string as you go. So what I mean by that is, like if I'm playing a arpeggio, like the one we were doing earlier, you don't want to hear, because it's not a chord, you want to lift the finger up gently. So I play, then lift to kill the note. So play, kill the note, into the next note. And the pick's already ready for the next string, see? The pick already landed. So now we go. Right, so down, 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 up. And then you want to work your subdivisions, like do eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Make sure you're not forcibly picking either. Like, I don't want to see... Like, you don't want to do that. Be really light. Let the pick just gently fall. It's all in the wrist. If you start trying to, like, squeeze too hard and go into the strings, you're going to get caught in the strings, and it's going to kill the sequence. So... Once that becomes easy, triplets. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a... Then 16th notes. Taka, 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 taka. Whoops, lost the sequence there. See, I messed up myself. And so the next part is trying to switch between two things. Like, I like to do this practice like I'm doing here, which is going from a minor into a dominant 7th arpeggio, right? Root back there. So if I'm starting here, right, then my finger's going to land over here. So I'm starting on the 15th fret, right? And that's that C note. Same root note I'm ending on, but then I'm going to add that G to B. Oh, sorry. Gotta be careful like that too, because the stretch, I didn't make the left stretch far enough. It's just be there. And that would be considered like a G dominant 7 arpeggio. So if you're going like root to 5th kind of movement, right? So this would be like a harmonic minor kind of structure. So just blending those two together can be good practice. Anyways, I get sidetracked on stuff, but hope that kind of helps you, man. What is this? You taught yourself. I learned a Olean through the full fretboard all the way to the 24th. Now I'm working on learning E Phrygian all the way up. It's just changing the note for each position. But that's harder than it sounds to remember every position with the note change. Maybe in a couple months I'll have Phrygian. Yeah, for sure, man. If you're talking about regular Phrygian, which is like the 3rd mode of the major scale, it's like, how do you say this? I'm hoping you, like you said, you learned up all the shapes of your E minor scale, right? So I'm guessing you learned all 7 positions, like 3 note per string pattern. That's what I recommend to most people, at least, to learn the 3 note per string system, like all 7 box positions or shapes, whatever you want to call them. So, anyways, once you have all 7 positions down in E minor, you'll realize that all the same shapes exist for the Phrygian. It's just that the starting position is that major scale on the 3rd box, right? You can think of it that way visually. So, basically, when you're playing E minor, right, which is the key of G major, right, hopefully you have like these boxes memorized pretty good. If you think about your 3rd shape, which would be B Phrygian, that's what they call it at least. It's still G major, but whatever. Anyways, this shape, just take that shape and start it over here on your E. Well, if you have that E Phrygian box shape, guess what comes in front of it? Right? You can kind of think about this for a second. The next shape would be Lydian, right? Shape 4. Shape 5 comes after that. Shape 6 comes after that. So if you remember things in a box context, and this isn't really like modal playing, like, I mean, it kind of is, but the context isn't there, because we're not talking about chords, and that's more important with modes than like the scale. Modes aren't just playing a shape, but you have to have the chord tones. But anyways, for memorization purposes, right, just think about the boxes and how they connect, those shapes. So E minor, right, compared to E Phrygian, what's the difference there? Well, it's like E minor, you're playing G major, but shape 6. E Phrygian, you're playing C major, but shape 3. Alright, so you can think of it that way. Hopefully that kind of helps a bit. Let's see here, sorry. How can I incorporate different guitar techniques into modes, scales, pentatonics to develop leads? Good question. Yeah, we could talk about that. What is this? Yes, exactly. Per string in each position. Is that Lester Paul Mitchell I see in here with my brainy bits? What's up, Jeff? How you doing, man? But yeah, Sienna, as far as your question goes, do you mean just like playing different guitar techniques in general, like with the stuff that you already know? Like you're taking like all your scales you're saying, and you're taking like all your notes and just everything you learned about guitar, and you're trying to make it like tastier with techniques, right? That's what you're trying to say? You just want to make it like sound different and apply sweeping or tapping or whatever? Just to make sure I understand correctly is all. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, when you're doing that kind of thing, think of, like, your pentatonic scale as, like, your, it's like your home base. Like, the pentatonic should be your bread and butter for melody, right? That should be, like, you know, for groove, for melody, keep it simple. And, you know, the modes and the scales and all that can be, like, flavoring. So you're just going to add the notes from those scales or modes for dynamics to create or to release tension. So to play the pentatonic scale tastefully and use techniques, try not to play the whole, like, pattern. What I mean is people learn the box shape, and let's say, like, C minor, they'll play the whole shape when they're improvising, and you don't want to do that. Instead of playing the whole shape, just play 2 strings. Let's say, like, the D and the G string, okay? And just play your box shape like you would. Okay? Backwards. Now connect the next box, right? So what would the next box be? You see what I'm saying? So focus on just 2 strings. Try to keep them above the 5th and 6th string for now, because they're not as melodic. They're kind of more muddy. It's okay for later, but right now just focus on the higher strings, right? So D to little e. And just think two string patterns. Now, when you're adding, like, techniques and stuff, that is up to you, obviously, but you can add, like, you know, think of like a simple pattern first, like a melody. So let's say I have something like this. So I'm just playing shape 1, mixing that note from shape 2. What gives it the sound is I'm adding mutes, timing. Timing is a really important one, because that's going to allow you to add a technique in, because different techniques take different timing. So, anyways, from here, if I'm in that, you know, C minor, Maybe add some pre-bends. Or you can bend up and then kill it, like a kill bend. I think bends are pretty important for that. Different vibrato can be different timing too, like... Or... Then, you know, incorporate like slides. I love doing slides because it takes the pentatonic scale, makes it sound more interesting. It's more like, you know, entertaining sounding. So instead of being like, do a slide instead. So add hammer-ons also. Hammer-on to slides. So like for hammering on to a note, slide to the same note after. Or whatever. You could add some extra outside notes, but that's gonna be like your bread and butter. Now, for like the modes and the scales, that depends on the chords, like, you know, the progression. But what I like to do is think about, like, if I'm just playing over one chord, you have two pentatonic choices. You have C minor pentatonic, right? And then you have the fifth of that key, which would be like G minor pentatonic. You can use that over the same thing. That's like superimposing it. So I could go... Now, if there's no other chords that are going to be like hindering you, you could do whatever you want. Then you could play C Phrygian, you could play C Dorian, you could say C whatever. But if you have other chords, you got to be really careful because, you know, if you're playing C minor to F minor, well, you can't play C Dorian. But if you play C minor to F dominant 7, you can play, you know, C Dorian. So be really hyper aware of the theory behind the chord progression because that's what's going to limit like your ability to do certain things. But yeah, technique-wise, it's just a matter of what you can squeeze into the timing. If you can like squeeze it into a certain subdivision or a measure without it leaking into the next part, like poorly, you're good. What I mean by that is if you have a chord progression, let's say I'm doing something like this. When I'm on that chord here, I'm going to add something maybe like shredding-wise. I'm going to try to end on that C chord, right? I'm going to try to like let the note ring out. Then I'm going to do something kind of tasteful over that chord. When it goes back the second time, instead of repeating yourself, because you don't want to just do the same shred, because I already did that, think of a tapping thing or like a sweeping thing you can do. Or you can make a tapping sequence like the one I was showing you guys. And then you're going to go back to your pentatonic for your home bass. So, pentatonic's the meat of the melody, right? Keep it simple. Focus on the D string to the first string. Play with your timing counts, because that's really important. So use a metronome for that. Use techniques wisely over certain chords that build tension. So if you hear like a 4, 5, 6 progression, the 4 or 5 chord, you're going to really want to build tension before you resolve on that 6, or, well, I guess it's kind of a 1 at the time, but think about how you can release tension that way. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. I know I'm rambling a bit, but yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Is that an AIO LP? Yep, you got it. Guitar terrorism. That's funny, man. But yeah, this is the AIO LP guitar. Did a review on this just the other day, and I am pleasantly surprised. I would say this is definitely my new battle axe for at least for a while. It plays better than the Schecter, so I'm pretty stoked about that. But yeah, hopefully that little lesson tip kind of helped you guys out, and hopefully it made sense, Sienna. I don't know if that, like, cramming everything into like a live stream, you know, it's awkward, especially if I'm talking to myself, like, because I can't see you guys or interact with you, so it's a little different than like real time. But anyways, hopefully that kind of helps. So, hopefully you guys are having a fantastic Sunday out there. Thanks for joining me in this guitar nonsense experience. let's see. Sienna says, are you playing the 1-3-5 notes for the pentatonic and modes? Yeah, I mean, it's good to use those, but don't think so much about, like, those specific intervals. Like, don't limit yourself to just those intervals. Think about, like, try all the intervals over those and see what works best. Like, because you really want to train your ear more than anything, and it'll help enforce that interval training that you're thinking of. But it really depends on the chord progression, because, like, if you're doing a mode, right, let's say, like, Dorian, well, yeah, it's kind of like you're playing a minor scale, right? But with that raised natural 6, so you're really wanting to accent the first. I like to accent the first, the natural 6 degree, right? The flat third, kind of. The minor second, I like to accent along with that 6 degree. But for me, that's what gives the Dorian that vibrant sound. So when I'm playing like this, you know, thing. Right, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, think about like the different intervals you can like throw in there, instead of just being limited to 1-3-5. You know, because there's so many different things you can do, and sometimes you got to break the rules. Sometimes I don't think about what I'm doing at all, and it shows because sometimes I make a lot of mistakes. But if you do it that way, you're kind of like Bruce Lee would say, like you're learning everything, and then you're gonna forget everything. Like you're learning everything to forget it. So, you know, do the training, try those intervals, but then try to do it without thinking about it. Let it become like a second nature thing over time. And use your ears. I know it sounds silly, like the old folks say, like, oh, use your ears. You gotta feel it out, man. You know, back in the day, we sit there with a bottle of Jack Daniels, and we played, and that was the blues, you know, or whatever. I've heard guys tell me that, but they got a point. I mean, to some degree, internalizing it is good. But knowing what you're doing is good, too, so try to do both. Crazy chops, bro. Oh, what's up, Vinnie Moore 84? Appreciate that, dude. I see you're a Vinnie Moore fan. I am too, man. I love Vinnie Moore. Guy's a killer player. Excellent practice tips, Lester. Thanks, Doroteo. I'm glad I could help, man. I'm sloppy, but I try to help you guys out. You heard some George Lynch in there. Oh my gosh. George Lynch is probably one of the craziest guitar players. Like, and I don't say crazy like in a bad way, but like his timing is really just like his own. Like, he's got his own George Lynch groove that I can't mimic. Van Halen too. They have their own like style that I just can't emulate at all. It's really weird. Some people pull it off really well. I can't do it. But yeah, George Lynch always makes those cool riffs. Like what's that one song called? The forget what song that is. Random notes. I don't know. What I thought Rick Graham was too, boss. Oh. Yeah, Rick Graham's crazy, dude. I love Rick Graham. That guy's like an absolutely bonkers guitar player. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like his economy picking and like his legato technique. Insane, man. Him and Tom Quill both are just savages. Like, they have no respect for us living mortals. Let's put it that way. Especially watching him do those classical finger picking things he does. way over my head, man. Rick Graham's a beast. I would love to have that guy as a teacher. Like, if I could ever afford Rick Graham, I would pay for that. It might be a waste because I don't think my fingers could ever do that. But I would do it. Great stuff right there. Appreciate that, Craig. It's not love. Yeah, you got it, Clutch. That's right. It's not love. Yeah, Dawkins awesome, man. They have some killer tunes. Killer guitars and killer guitar solos. I love the delay in this. I don't know. They just have like a certain sound, you know? How do I describe it? Let's see. Any love for Dimebag or Zakk Wylde? Oh, yeah, man. I love Dimebag and Zakk Wylde. Dude, Dimebag Darrell was one of my favorite guitar players. Like, no joke. You know, back in the day, when, you know, I lived pretty poor and stuff, but we listened, you know, to the radio. That's like our entertainment, which I'm sure a lot of people could agree to that or relate to that. And I remember one of my stepdads showed me Pantera, and I was like, I don't know, like 11 or something. I didn't know who Pantera was, and I was like, what is this music, you know? And I heard like all those pinch harmonics, the little get the settings back, but hearing all these like, it's like, what is, especially in that one, what is it, I was like, oh man, it just blew my mind. And then his solo playing it was a big inspiration to me, man. Dimebag Darrell and Zakk Wylde both. Especially Zakk for his crazy drop D. Well, screechy sounds, I can't do that well, but yeah, I love Dimebag and Zakk both for that reason. I was like, these guys are just insane. My favorite solo, which I can't play anymore because I don't remember how to do it. Let me see here. Dimebag has unmatched vibrato and squeals. Oh yeah, I agree with you totally. Cemetery Gates, yeah, there you go. Nice, Lester. Thanks, dude. Squealy horsey noises. Yeah, squealy horsey noises. How's it go? And I don't have a whammy bar, but the little... I kind of remember part of Cowboys from Hell, but I forget how that goes now, the solo for that. Nope. I can't remember. I haven't played that in years, but I remember it being something weird like that and a little... No. I don't remember, but what is it? As a Panterist, I remember. It's been a long time. But yeah, I used to know a lot of Pantera songs. I don't remember them anymore. Forgive me, guys. I'm out of practice. Randy Rhoads was the one for me. Yeah, Randy Rhoads is a legend, dude. He's freaking nuts. Yeah, Randy had the craziest technique, especially with the tapping thing and then like doing the whole, what is it again? Like a bendy tap thing, you know what I'm talking about? So weird. And then they're doing the little... Oh, is it? think it's something like that, The Run, right? I can't remember Crazy Train's Run, but that dude's crazy, man. Randy Rhoads is classically trained, too. Yeah, exactly. What was that song, Goodbye to Romance? I think that's my favorite Ozzy song with Randy for, like, his slower stuff. I just love the guitar playing in that. It's so pretty. You can hear the classical inspiration. I don't know how to do that. I can't remember how to play that. But yeah, that one and See You on the Other Side, which was, I think Steve I played on that one. That was a different one, and Zach and Steve? Something like that. I forget who it was. Was that Zach Wild or Steve I that played on the See You on the Other Side? Oh well. Anyways, whoever did the guitar for See You on the Other Side was pretty awesome too. He even took lessons when he was out on the road with Ozzy. I believe it, man. I believe it. Rick used to live near me. My mate used to know him. He's a recovering alcoholic. Oh man, that's a trip. Yeah, Rick's I've heard about that. I've heard Rick had some struggles with stuff like that, but man, what a genius of a guy and a genius player. I mean, anytime I watch that guy play, it just like totally blows my mind. I'm like, how do you even I don't even know, man. I remember when I first saw it, I think the first video I saw was the killer shred technique, like years ago, when that first the ad popped up or whatever, and I was like, what is this killer shred technique? And I clicked on it and I was like, what the hell did I just watch? It was nuts, man. The tone, everything. That's probably one of the better things about Rick too, is he's got really tasteful tone. Craig says you really like D. Yeah, D's a good one too. Short but full of classical, yeah. Yeah, Randy Rhoads borrowed a lot of like Bach-esque type stuff, like that Baroque era, style. You could tell. Don't forget CC DeVille, one of the most underrated but amazing guitar players. Yeah, I agree with you. CC DeVille's pretty good too, man. Very classically inspired. Yeah, he really was classically inspired, man. You can hear that whole Bach sound in his playing. Everything's like very Bach-esque, which explains why a lot of classical players end up being like metal players and vice versa, which is kind of funny. Getting into classical from metal or however. I'm not classically trained. I do know a classical guy. We kind of traded lessons, a handful of times, but I'm not classically trained. Having said that, I could bust out some very basic sounding stuff. Like this isn't the right settings for this. What was it? Not very clean, but that's because this guitar is so metal. Alright. But, having said that, what's an actual Bach tune? What's that one called? I can't remember how to play that. That's been a long time since I've even listened to that song. But I knew that one. I knew the other one too, which was... Move this thing real quick, sorry. No. How's that go? I can't remember the ending of that one either. This fret wrap is squeezing the top of this thing, so it's like making my string buzz. I'll probably loosen it hair. There we go. But anyways, yep, I do more like other fingerstyle stuff instead of doing classical. I got more into like the jazzy kind of sounds, as you guys know, doing the cool chord voicings. Like that thing I did in my other video I was showing you guys. Or these other kind of like phrases. Or was it? Or who could forget the favorite, what is this progression? I forget this one's called. Was this Bossa Nova one? Not much of a finger picker. Anyways, getting sidetracked. Vivaldi was the original metal dude. Oh, dude, yeah, for sure. What is it? Summer? Is that what that one's called? The little no. Let's turn the metal up for that one. Let's see. I don't remember how that goes anymore. But oh. I don't remember how that goes anymore. Sorry, guys. I'm like butchering half these songs because I don't even know how they go. Oh, well. Bore. There you go. Yeah, Bore. That's what it's called. Mr. Holdsworth Awakens. Yeah, I wish. I wish, man. I wish I had the fingers like Holdsworth. Definitely worked out for Yngwie. That is true. Worked out for Yngwie. I wish I had more style. I would look like Yngwie if I had the cool hair and the outfit, man. Well, brother, I've got to go walk my 2 mutts. If you're gone before I get back, have an awesome week. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that. And thank you for coming by, man. Thank all of you guys for hanging out with me. We got a little bit more time left here, and we'll probably be here another hour, so I don't know, screwing off. I'm glad you decided to join me in this very boring live stream of me sitting in front of a camera in my small studio. Very exciting. But, yeah, hopefully you guys are having a good time. If there's anything you guys want to talk about, be sure to let me know. If you got any, like, GM stuff you want to bring up or whatever, bands, whatever, just let me know. We're pretty easy going around here. Back to George Lynch. The lead lines on Heaven Sent are amazing. Oh yeah, that's a good one, man. That's a good song. His lead lines in general are just really phenomenal. I mean, anytime you learn a George Lynch lick, can't talk, it feels like extra work, you know what I mean? It's not necessarily like super difficult, but like the timing's weird. Like he does like the strangest timing, and it's like it's not impossible, but it's weird. And that brings me back to Van Halen, another one that just got weird timing, and it's like, what the hell is going on here? A good example of that, like Hot for Teacher, the riff in that is just really weird. Like, why is the timing so wonky on that? I don't know. The solo to beat it, kind of wonky, especially with the tapping things. Which I don't remember how to play that anymore. That's the... And then the weird little... It's like, the hell is that? Think you could play Vaseline Machine Gun by Leo Kottke? I was gonna learn that and slide and just never got around to it. I have no idea what it is, to be honest with you. Vaseline Machine Gun. I'll put it on. See what it sounds like. I don't know what that is, but we're going to listen to it. Sounds like it's going to have a slide in there, I'm guessing. I have a slide, but it's broken. It fell one day and like the piece kind of chipped off, so I don't put my fingers in there because I don't want to get my fingers sliced off. Alright, let's see here. You said it was called Vaseline Machine Gun. Let me go and listen to it. Leo. Kottke. What a name. I bet this is going to be something ridiculous, isn't it? Are you going to show me something that's like Andy McKee? You guys remember Andy McKee drifting? Is this going to be like Andy McKee? Because if it's like Andy McKee, I don't think I can do that. I'm an okay guitar player. I'm no Andy McKee.
Ever wonder why so many people say
Commercials, seriously?
but very few actually learn to play?
We don't care. Thanks anyway. We're broke. You miss having trapezoidal inlays? I miss having trapezoids in general, man, when I used to be in shape. Separate issue, but still an issue. Oh, this is live. I don't want live. I didn't see that. They didn't put that in there. Those jerks. Oh, here we go. Okay, I found the actual original tune here. Oh, wow. Very country twangy. I don't have a slide with me anymore, or do I? Is it still in here, the one that broke? I could probably just use part of it. This isn't going to work because I'm not even in the right setup for this type of thing. I wonder what tuning that is. Like open D tuning, or is that open G tuning? Is that G open or D open? I know it's some kind of open tuning. Cool finger picking. It's a weird tuning. I think it's open D, yeah? No? Maybe it's E flat open tuning of some kind. Cool finger picking. Whoa. There's like a low B note or B flat note in there. Did you hear that? There's like a, but it's like lower. It's like a bassier, like a 7-string sounding bass note. That's some weird tuning. Cool open tuning though. I feel like I'm listening to the Discovery Channel. As you can see, the two sloths walking amongst the fields. The sloth looks for the food. I can feel that happening, like some weird thing. You've been playing guitar for an eternity, and I'm primarily a legato player. Oh, no kidding. With all the shrapnel guys, seen it all, but I still suck at alt picking in terms of synchronization. Any tips, man? Yeah, for sure, man. Very cool, especially that you're a legato guy. I like legato, but I kind of suck. Well, I don't want to say I suck at it. It's just not my strongest technique. Like, I can do these little phrases like the... What was it? Or was it? But it's not like... I always was better at alternate picking, you know what I mean? My legato was never as good as my alternate picking. So it needs work. But yes, for alternate picking practice, I'm going to show you something really boring, so don't hate me. I'm going to put the metronome on for a second. But what you want to do for alternate picking practice is do two different exercises. First, what you want to do is you want to use a steady BPM for like just really basic like practice. And what you want to do with this is, like, instead of playing chromatic scales, which is good for warming up, try to focus on 3-note per string patterns. Turn this up a little louder if I can. So what you want to do is, let's say you're playing and you want to focus on your right hand being relaxed. So, like, try not to squeeze the pick too hard. Like, pay attention to the thumb. If you see discoloration, you're squeezing the pick too hard, so don't squeeze the pick too hard. Also, try not to let the pick stick out too much. If you have this much pick sticking out, you're going to get it stuck in the string. So a little bit more of a choking of the pick helps me out. So with that in mind, minimum movement is key. So when you're playing through your scale patterns, like whatever scale you want, try to work your subdivisions. Like, let's say start with eighth, go to triplets, go to, you know, swing or whatever, do 16th notes and blah, blah, blah. I'll show you an example. And then what you're going to want to do is play like all the strings for your first few exercises, then do some string isolation exercises to practice inside-outside picking. So real quick. And then what you're going to want to do from there is switch up the subdivisions. So, like, let's say I do 16th notes. Switch the timing. That's the first step. And then make sure the pick is close to the strings, like you're not going super far. And it shouldn't hurt, like it should be really relaxed. Now the next exercise is you want to focus on doing like one string pattern, right? So let's say just playing the E string open, the first string, and do 16th notes, like a little motor. Really relaxed. And then what you want to do is you want to add like a finger pattern in there. So like a scale or whatever on that one string, or like a little walking pattern. So like you can just do one note. And the goal is to not move the right hand any differently. Like keep it like a motor the whole time, right? Then do two string pattern. So what I mean by that is going like just those two strings. Start with outside picking. So like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then try doing like an up, down pattern from there. Okay, so keeping that in mind, take like a pattern you know pretty well. And then you're going to do the same thing again, but start with an upstroke. So the reason for that is because you want to make sure that you're like working all your different angles and you got all your inside-outside picking like taken care of. So if you ever get stuck doing an upstroke when you shouldn't have, then you're ready. I'm not the greatest at that either, but that's one example. Now do those same exercises, all your subdivisions, and then do them again, higher BPM. So then once you got that solid, right, like that Stradivarius song. See that? Now I'm screwing up my picking, so we want to keep it like around that tempo. I'm going to slow it down just a hair. Just a hair, and then do the same thing. All right, and just find little exercises like that from songs or from whatever, and just repeat them over and over and over, pretty much. Then speed them up and do them again. The key is being consistent and being as relaxed as you can be, and that's how you get like these, you know, lines. Now, granted, this is also economy picking I'm doing, so I'm going down, up, down, down. Sorry, I got kind of carried away. I got random playing. But anyways, hopefully that kind of helps, dude. And it was a lot of rambling. Hey now, everyone. What's up, 2 yards? How you doing? Props on the t-shirt. Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah. I got your back, man. We got this shirt at Walmart for like 2 years ago for Halloween, and I wear it all the time, even though it's not Halloween. That's how we do it. Okay, let's see here. Keep listening to the Robin Ford. Oh, heck yeah, man. Robin Ford's great. Great guitar player. That dude's a genius for sure, you know. Him and Larry Carlton, you know, both those guys are amazing players. There's so many good guitar players out there from so many different backgrounds and genres and styles. It's endless, man. Just when you think you've heard them all, there's always more to listen to, and it's just like, what the heck? How is it possible? So it's gonna make you guys laugh a little bit. Like, okay, lesson package stuff, right? Like, I make lesson package stuff. I think everybody makes lesson package stuff. Well, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people do, right? And sometimes I have lesson courses, lesson packs. Well, so do a lot of other people. So, you know, people that are better than me, like Rick Graham, Tom Quill, those guys, you know, I bought their lesson packs. Rick Graham's really good. Like, you know, I learned a lot from his stuff. It's more advanced, so it kind of helped me out. Tom Quill's lesson packs, they're useful and they're really good, and I like them. But the guy just plays, like, he has no chill, if that makes any sense. Like, he'll have a lick, and it's like, okay, lick one video. And lick one's like, you're like, what the hell was that? And then, okay, here's lick one again, slow. You're like, what the hell are you doing, Tom? What is this? And yeah, sure, he has the tabs in there, so, like, it's, you know, it's there, but, like, it'd be nice if he had a video just a little slower for us normal people that can't do legato that fast. I'm like, well, just maybe not, you know, 64th note exercises would be good. Maybe just like regular, like a simple 8th note pattern would be good for us. Great video stuff, but yeah, it's pretty funny. And there's a lot of other video courses that have stuff like that, like in the Frank Gamble's Chop Builder. Like, I love Chop Builder. I do that every week. I try to. That's a great thing, by the way. If you guys are looking for like a standard lesson pack, I could try to sell you mine, but I just recommend that you get Frank Gamble's Chop Builder. I mean, it's a tried true classic. Changed my picking forever. Anyways, it's super, like, you know, he's super monotone. He's just like, all right, guys. He's like, you know, I'm here, and, you know, we're going to play through every major scale position. And then when you're done doing that, we're going to play through every, you know, melodic minor scale position. Okay, and then every harmonic minor scale position without any breaks. Then you're going to go into, like, half whole diminished scale, regular diminished scale, whole tone scale. And he's just so monotone. He's like, all right, guys. Yeah, feel the burn. You're like, what the hell are you talking about, Frank? What the hell's your problem? It's like, who hurt you, Frank? But anyways, it's pretty comical and humorous. Definitely right here in Lexington, North Carolina, still 81 degrees. Oh, man, that's not fun. Yeah, it's not much better over here, man. It was like 107 or 6 today in my town. I think it's still like, let me check. It's 100 degrees still outside, so lame. Let's see. How about John Nathan Cordy? He's pretty slick with legato. I don't know him, actually. I'll have to check that guy out. Detroit always has a low rumble. Constantly low rumble. Oh, man. That sucks. I feel for you guys, man. That doesn't sound very inspirational, right? Jeff says, YouTuber, a Brett YouTuber. Okay. Yeah, I don't know him. You know, unfortunately, YouTube is such a big place, man. There's so many people that I don't know. Like, I've met a lot of really cool people from YouTube, and there's some really amazingly talented people. But yeah, I don't know all of them, unfortunately. I wish I did. But yeah, at the same time, I'm glad I don't, because I'm subscribed to so many people that I don't see anybody's videos half the time, because there's so many subscriptions. I'm like, everything is buried. And I'll see somebody pop up I haven't seen in a while. I'm like, oh, that person. I forgot I subscribed to that, because it's always been buried, you know? Let's see. 77 here in Central Florida. Oh my gosh, way to rub it in, Craig. I'm jealous, man. You're curating a lot of great players. Heck yeah, man. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, bro. Finally able to catch you on. What's up, Petriani? How you doing, man? Thanks for coming by, my dude. Hope all's been well for you. We're just sitting here being silly, watching a grown man play a guitar in a room and all that good stuff. Whatever that means. I don't know. Thanks, man. Crazy. I've always kind of adopted Vinny's picking from the elbow technique. Yeah, Vinny is an interesting guy, man, because he does use that elbow technique, like his whole arm. I can't do it, though, that way. I've tried, and it just, like, I don't know, I can never get the speed I want. Like, obviously, when you go really fast to a certain degree, like when you're playing, like, sextuplets or whatever, like, you're obviously probably going to have to use your arm to some degree, because you start moving so fast that the wrist can't move anymore, and then your arm starts moving, like, it just has to, I think. So there's probably no avoiding it to a certain degree, but I try to use wrist more for myself, only because I just can't pull off that awesome technique that Vinny has. And Vinny is a wild man. I mean, if you listen to his picking on any song, it's just like insane, dude. I always like that one song, Life Force, for that picking practice, because it's like that. I hate that part. I was like, why, Vinny? Why did you do this? Because the picking. I was like. It's like, why would you make it so complicated, man? And like the solo of that song, or every song he does, is just ridiculous. There's a song, what is it? Like Defying Gravity? Something like that. It's like some ridiculous picking pattern. I'm just like, why? This is just the intro? I'm like, dude, why? How are you doing this? It's just insane. The guy has like, he's another person that has no chill. And like, I love Vinny, but man, he's just a monster, man. And like seeing him backstage or whatever, like in those videos, he's just like chewing gum, like. It's like he's bored doing his taxes. Just like, here I am. I'm Vinny Moore. Whatever. It's insane. But anyways. Vacuum solo. Yes, I need to plug into the vacuum cleaner. We need Burnt here, guys. We need the old Burnt to come and visit so he can shred on my vacuum cleaner and take the head off my guitar and do a wicked solo with it in the air without strings attached. Gotta call him up and say, Burnt, I need you down here, man. Sloppy picking on my part. Sorry, guys. A little better. And then who could forget the old Michelangelo Badio special, where you do the old... gotta love that weird little neoclassical type stuff he does, and you're just like, what the hell is that? I especially like it when he goes backwards and he's like, I forget what song he does that in. Was it the... I forgot how that goes now. There's like a little sweepy thing he does. Oh, well, I don't remember. But yeah, there's like a little shred thing that goes... No. I can't remember how to play that song either. That's been a long time. I covered that song on the channel like 3 years ago, and Michelangelo actually commented, which is really surprising. I was like, ah, crap. I would if I'd known he was going to watch the video and comment, I wish I would have done a better job, because I kind of half-assed it. And I was like, oh no, he saw that. That's not good. Oh well. So let it be a lesson to you guys. Before you upload something, make sure it sounds absolutely top, because the person might comment and see it, and that's embarrassing. Don't live my suffering. I had to live with that. Yeah, fun times. I can appreciate that, but I don't want to do it. Bill Frizzle, Oto. Yeah, there's so many different styles out there, man, honestly. And there's so many things, like, sometimes that's the problem, too, is there's a lot of, like, my problem is I want to do everything, almost. Like, I love all the genres of all the techniques, all the sounds I hear I want to do. I'm like, oh, I like that, I want to do that. Oh, I like that, I want to do that. See a blues video, oh, I like that, I want to do that. Hear a jazz video, oh, I want to do that. That sounds really cool. Hear a funk video, oh, hell yeah, I want to do that, you know, or whatever. And then I get sidetracked, like, oh, country lick? Hell yeah. And so, yeah, it ends up being a big mess, because then I get, like, overwhelmed with too many things, and I'm just like, I don't know anymore what I'm doing. Too many things to do. Too many things. It's just, it's a big mess, man. Adrian Bellou. I'm not sure who that is, but I'm sure they're probably a good player, man. There's so many guitar players out there. It's, like I said, it's endless, unfortunately. I mean, it's a good thing, too, but it's a little unfortunate, because it's, like, saturated with musicians. Like, saturated. It's insane. And every time you go on, like, Instagram or somewhere, I see, like, some kid, like, shredding, like, insane notes and playing, like, crazy classical style or whatever. It's like, that one kid's really taken the internet by storm, Matteo Mancuso. My gosh, and using his hand and fingers playing, like, bass style. Like, I forgot they call that style, but, it's just insane. He's, like, shredding with his fingers. I can't imagine doing that. What a psycho, man. King Crimson. Oh, okay, I see. I've heard of King Crimson. Bowie, Talking Heads, Tom Tom Club. Oh man, the Talking Heads, that's funny. Matteo is a nut. Yeah, he really is, man. It's really trippy to see these crazy virtuoso, like, you know, guys like Guthrie Govan and whoever else that are like the newer generation version. I think he's kind of up there with Guthrie Govan. Like, I've never seen Matteo or Matteo, however you pronounce his name, Matteo. I've never seen him play like a wrong note. Like, he plays on stage live and does this insane, perfectly like, syncopated. It's like it's insane how good he plays. It's like, it's inspiring, but also like traumatizing. Without a pick, what's even crazier, man? Like, I can barely play with a pick. I can barely play with this thing. It's insane. But yeah, I don't know, man. There's so many amazing guitar players out there. It's endless. Yeah, definitely one of the best alive for sure, man. And at his age too. I don't even know how. Like, I don't know how they even started playing like that or how that even began. But you know, I remember seeing him before he got really, really big. Like, I seen him on YouTube. And then he was also in this Facebook group that I was in, where he was sharing, like, you know, I think it was JTC or one of those ones. And he was kind of getting more known, like, he was getting more, like, exposure, but he wasn't, like, famous yet. And I remember, like, seeing him thinking, this guy plays crazy. And then, not long after that, you know, then he kind of blew up, for good reason. But yeah, when I first saw him, I was like staring at the video, and I was like, what the hell? What is he doing to that guitar? Young guy under 30. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's just insane to think. He must have been practicing his whole life or, something like that, because it's impressive for sure. And there's a lot of kids, like that are, under that, like, 20 range or maybe even under. Like, what's that kid's name? Beam Finger from Indonesia. That kid plays really good. Indonesian guitarist, but, man, he shreds. Like, it's insane, the stuff he does at his age. I'm just like, how? He's like 18 or something, too, or 17 or whatever. And there's that one girl, what is it, Lisa X? That girl's amazing, too. There's just so many people, man. It's really crazy. Rick Beato has a good interview with him. Yeah, I saw part of that interview. I didn't watch the full thing, but I did see part of that interview. You got insane speed, man. Thanks for advice. I'll catch you later. Off to bed. Well, no problem, dude. And thanks for subbing, man. Appreciate the support. I'm glad you appreciate the technique. It's sloppy, but I'm glad you like it. Well, give me like 10 years. I'll try to clean it up in that time frame. I'll do my best. Well, we'll see what we can do. John 5 said he used to play along with commercials on TV. That's funny, man. Oh, man. That's like, isn't that weird to think, too? Like, there's so many people that don't have TV anymore because everybody watches, like, Netflix and, like, streaming services that there's no, like, actual, like, there's no need. Like, a lot of people I know don't have television because they don't see the point. It's like, well, it's a waste of money. I can just watch whatever I want if I pay for all this other stuff. And instead of paying $120 a month for a bunch of shows I'm not going to watch. So that's kind of weird to think, too. But yeah, man, I used to do something similar, not to TV, but I used to, like, play along with the radio stuff or, like, video games, like old arcade games and stuff. I try to hear the music and those things and ping pong with them. Like, oh, that sounds cool. What does that sound, One of my favorites being, like, the old Doom, The old Doom game had some awesome music, which, of course, it was ripped off from other bands. So, of course, it was awesome. It was, like, Metallica songs and Pantera songs and Alice in Chains songs ripped off. But still cool. And, it was at the time where, like, I didn't know all the songs yet because I was, too young. Like, I didn't know, like, oh, every single song was ripped off. But it was still cool. It's like, oh, that's pretty sweet. How the rest of that goes. Go here. Random noodling. Why not? Come on, man. You're easy in the Rick Guthrie bracket in terms of technique. Don't put yourself down. Anyway, later. Well, if you say so, man, I'll go along with that. I don't know if I feel like I'm at that point, but I appreciate you saying that, so I'll take that. Can you believe I still haven't cut that nut for the Epi SG? That's okay, man. Time's elusive, right? It's hard to find the time to do stuff. That's the problem. There's a lot of things I want to do, just not a lot of time in the day to do all the things that I want to do. Could be an issue. Could be an issue. But anyways, hopefully you guys are having a good time. I'll probably be around for another 20 so minutes. I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, then I'll probably head out of here. But yeah, we're just hanging out. We're just BSing, talking guitar, nerdy stuff, and all that good guitar stuff we like to do. Because why not? If you guys have any questions about anything, I'll try my best to answer. I don't know everything. But I can point you in the right direction if I don't have the answer, so I can give you somewhere else to go. If I don't know it, somebody else will. That's for sure. Let's see here. Need to, oh, I see. You gotta buy $90 nut files. $4 ones aren't very good, surprisingly. Yeah, that sucks, man. Yeah, and music stuff's always so expensive, too. Like, I noticed, like, anything music related's pricey. Like, pedals are expensive, repair stuff's expensive, even strings can be kind of expensive, depending on what you use, I guess. But yeah. I'll tell you what, though, in the future, if I ever buy any more guitars, I'm probably just going to stick with, like, AIO for now, because it seems like they're pretty legitimate. It's nice to have a guitar set up. Like, that's pretty cool. Especially right out of the, you know, package. I don't have to do anything. Because, man, I'm not like an expert setter-upper guy. So, I mean, the fact that they can do all this stuff for you and customize everything the way you want it, solid for me, man. StewMac must have gold dust in their stuff. Yeah, StewMac stuff's always expensive, man. I knew a guy that used to brag about buying everything from StewMac. He was a funny guy. He used to take lessons from me years ago, but it wasn't really lessons. Like, he'd just pay me to show me his, like, his Gibsons he'd have. It's kind of funny to think about, but, like, he'd bring a different Les Paul to the lesson, and I started trying to, like, talk to him about what do you want to practice or whatever, and he'd just be like, yeah. Anyways, this Les Paul I got, he'd be like, you know, it's an authentic Gibson 19 whatever, and I'd be like, that's cool. It's like, yeah, it was like $3,000. Wow. He always tell me, yeah, I buy all my parts from StewMac and StewMac only. I don't go to any other site because it's not trustworthy. Just StewMac. Everything's StewMac. You ever go to StewMac? And I was like, no, I don't usually go on there. He's like, you gotta go to StewMac. Let's see here. My Luckles, Diodarios, XLs. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you know, local places, man, it just depends where you're at, you know, like some mom and pop shops will try to rip you off for sure. Not all, I'm not gonna say all of them. I've seen some that are normal, but like, yeah, like certain ones, you know, will charge you, like I've seen $14 for Ernie Ball strings, like regular strings. I'm not talking about Paradigm, I'm talking about like just regular slinkies, like $14, or Snark tuners for like $30. So, I mean, I've seen price gouging, and it's not cool. Let's see. StewMac is way overpriced. Same Chinese parts as at a premium. Yeah, sounds about right, Craig. Heck yeah. But yeah, I've seen all kinds of weird things, man, in music stores, and I don't know. You're just better off going online for a lot of things. Honestly, I hate to say it, but it's true. I've only met a handful of like decent music stores in different areas that I've traveled, and only a few of them were actually like legitimately chill, which I get it, you know, they gotta make their money and stuff, but we're talking like, you know, 3-4 times markup, which is not really cool. Music Nomad is still expensive, but a bit cheaper alternative to StewMac tools. Well, that's good, man. Yeah, I'm all for cheap, you know. I think we all are nowadays, and the economy kind of sucks. I mean, everything's expensive, like rent's going up, food prices going up. Pretty soon they're going to tax you to breathe air. I mean, I know hospitals already charge you for, you know, air. Have you guys ever seen that? Like getting a hospital bill? I've had that before. And you look in it, they charge you like $100-something for purified air. And you're like, seriously? For the air? Come on, man. But let's see. Pay the lessons givers. Yeah, and most of the time, most music stores don't like pay the people like the full amount. It's like the music store I worked at, I made what was it, like 40% of my income from the lessons. Like the boss would take 60%. Actually, no, sorry, I made 35%. It was 65% they would take. So out of your lesson money, they take 65% of your lesson money for renting the space or whatever they call it, which isn't really much of a rental. It's just like a hole in the wall room. So yeah, you're better off just going out to like teachers personally if you want to like help them, like working with them on the side, which is what I do now, because you get to keep your income and actually use it instead of, you know, handing it over to somebody else that doesn't do the lesson, which kind of sucks. Let's see, the dollar is set to tank. Yeah, I believe it, Clutch. I believe it. That is BS. Yeah, I believe you, dude. Yeah, it is BS for sure. I did that for like 8 years, man, and you know there wasn't like a lot of places to teach at that weren't doing the same thing. It's such a messed up thing because music stores know that you're not going to operate somewhere like unless you're going to do online. You're going to need a business place or a building. So they always want to take a big chunk of your income because they know you're not going to be able to fight that. Let's see, Captain Craig. Just waiting for it to happen. Oh, the dollar dropping? Yeah. It's been crazy, man. Hopefully things go back to some kind of normal, you know what I'm saying? Some kind of normal would be good. But I heard it's going to get worse. And if it gets worse, man, I mean, California already has a pretty high crime rate. It's going to get ugly at that point. People are already at each other's throats around here, so can't imagine. Let's see. Thinking about a job change. 7-year itch. Well, that's good, man. It's good to change up the pace a little bit and try different things, you know. I was at that place for almost 9 years, like 8 going on 9. And I gotta say, I'm kind of happy not to be there. it's kind of a relief. Alright, let's see. Do some quick little noodling here. Random noodling. Why? Why not? I don't know. Hoping my Bitcoin will save me. Heck yeah, man. Hopefully. The economy sucks worse than a president of the United States 2-string solo. That sounds pretty funny, man. It probably does suck more than that. That would be funny to see, like, the presidents do a guitar shred-off, like Donald Trump and Joe Biden, like, all right, guys, they're going to have a shred-off. You know, Mr. President's going to go with the former president here. We're going to have a guitar duel, and whoever shreds the most gets to be the president. And can you imagine, like you're saying, it would just suck so bad. It'd be like a Kanye West solo. You just hear, like, probably something like that over and over and over. Oh, man. Millions of peaches. Oh, man. Nice little diminished runs there. Kind of fun to do that. It's just doing string crossing. Kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know how you say it, like a weird, like a slot machine gone wrong. Kind of fun too in the same way, I don't know. Hey, what does that sound like? No. Feels like a little Terminator action for the day. Search for nuclear power trio. Alright, I have to check that out. Another retailer is trying to poach me from the gig I love. That gig just doesn't pay well unless I work more hours than I'd like. That sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. People get kind of weird about stuff. I don't know why. But hopefully that kind of, you know, will lead you to a better place in life, my friend. Hopefully. But yeah, a little Terminator action. Sorry for the randomness. My brain gets scattered on different things. What's another theme? It's not a good theme. What can I think of? What other things that... I'm trying to think about anything I actually remember how to play. Well, it's funny, when you think about riffs and like licks that you like or know how to do, it's like, well, what do I want to play? What do I remember how to play is the question. Your current employer might match, but they're notoriously cheap. Oh. Yeah, I think a lot of employers are, man. It feels like a lot of employers are just kind of cheap, you know, a-holes. to put it bluntly, I don't think I met a lot of employers that aren't normal, which is kind of an unfortunate thing. Having said that, I've heard good things about some employers. I just never met them. I've heard good things, though. Ironically. So this selective picking thing is pretty interesting. Like, I don't understand it fully. Anybody here an expert at selective picking? Because I'm trying to like get better at that. I was watching a video from Toes and Abasi, and Tim Henson was talking about it. So confusing, man. Like, I guess, like if you pick a note open, but then you do like your fingers. It's just weird to me. I know, it's such a strange thing. Random stuff, sorry. Excellent live stream this evening, Lester. Can't wait for the next one. Appreciate that, dude. Thank you for coming by. Terminator. Heck yeah, man. Sound like Nuno Betancourt? Oh my goodness. That guy's pretty crazy, man. He does some wacky stuff. But yeah, it's weird to think like there's these picking things you can do. It's just weird to me. Kind of awkward to do this, but nope. Kind of awkward to do this. I don't know how to do this. It's strange. Like trying to pick these notes. I don't know what I'm doing. This is very random. But yeah, like, I was trying to do Sweet Child of Mine the other day, which sounds silly, but like with the tapping thing. It's weird to do picking like with the fingers like that. It's just kind of awkward. Kind of hurts though. It's a little awkward to the hands. What the hell's happening here? Sorry, it's random nonsense. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, let's see what we got here. What the heck am I looking at? Sorry, I missed where I was at. Tim Henson is too far out of my comfort zone. Yeah, Tim Henson's crazy, man. I don't know how he does the weird stuff he does. I don't know how to do that one thing anymore. Oh well, I don't remember. Tim Henson's nuts, we know that. Woof. I don't know what woof is, but let's see. Rough. Lester, show more leg like Sophie Pearl, you could be famous. That's funny, man. If I had the legs, then sure, why not? I'm not Angel Vivaldi. I think he passes more as a cross-dresser than I could. Okay, let's see. But yeah, so I don't know how they do that. It's pretty nuts. I used to remember how to play that, the goat thing, but I don't remember how that goes. I'd have to look it up to see the actual tab. Let me look real quick. Because I don't remember how to play it, and I want to know how they did that real quick. Let's see here. Alright. We're going to take a look at goat real quick, because I always forget how to do that. I can't do the newer songs. There's just no way. It's too difficult for my brain, but I could probably get some of this going if it lets me load it. Okay, Polyphia. Here we go. So let me see real quick how they do this, because I don't remember for the life of me. I gotta turn this down a hair. Oh, sorry. Forgot that was still open. That's right. Oh, I see. So it's right there. Try that again. Ah. Okay, so let me see real quick. How's that slide thing go again? They do a weird thing there. Ah, I see. So Something like that. Nope. Okay, so. Oh. Okay. Something like that. I can't remember fully. But it's close enough. It's close enough for what I remember, which isn't very much. First of all, you don't have enough neck tattoos. Start there. That's funny. Oh, man. Yes, I need some angry prison tattoos. That'll make me feel good about myself. Let's see. I want to be weird, but not Henry Kaiser weird. Oh, my. You don't want to do that. What is it here? Polyphia is what metal would be if my grandma was put in charge of metal. If your grandma was in charge of metal. That's funny, man. Polyphia is pretty rad. Or pretty rad, yeah. Polyphia is pretty cool, man. It's a little bit above my pay grade, I should say. It's a little crazy. I like their playing. It's just way above my understanding. Tim Henson's a genius in his own right, I guess. Let's see. It sounded polyphonic to me. Oh, there you go. Polyphonic for Polyphia. Polyphia and polyphonic. It works pretty good together. The one song, what is it? Playing God or whatever. That's just insane. I tried looking at that, and I'm just like, no, I'm not going to be able to play that. Even if I tried, like, there's just no way. I don't know. It just wasn't going to work for me. I wish I could, though. That'd be kind of cool. Math rock. Oh, total math rock. Yeah, math rock's crazy, man, with the weird open tunings and like the tappy thingies they do. It's kind of interesting. One of the most underused scales in metal and rock, I think, is melodic minor. I don't know, it just feels like it's not really used ever in rock and metal music. My rented fingers are falling. Oh no. I could listen to Les Paul, Mitchell, Noodle, The Phone, Book. Yellow Pages anyway. Thanks, man. I'm glad you like the nonsense noodling I'm doing. It's sloppy nonsense, but it's fun. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys ever use melodic minor in a rock sense? Like, I know it's used mainly in like jazz and blues type phrasings, but it just seems cool to use it in metal. Like in the, I don't know if you guys saw my Trivium entry I did the other day for the contest. I wanted to make sure I used melodic minor in there. I was like, I want to definitely use melodic minor in this. Where I was like, a little. I like doing that, like letting an augmented sound or whatever in that specific section, because it's like I could have done harmonic minor, but it's so overdone that, like, you know, that melodic minor sound just fits so much nicer, and I thought, well, that might be kind of fun to add in there, something a little different. But yeah, I was trying to incorporate it into stuff, because like I've done harmonic minor so much I get kind of burnt out. I would dine out on melodic minor every night. You and me both, man. Seriously, melodic minor is so tasty. Nope, never used melodic minor. That's the one you play differently, ascending as descending, maybe? Yeah, if you're doing classical theory, like the melodic minor is different ascending compared to descending if you're looking at classical theory. But if you're just doing it like in a regular rock or jazz or blues context, they teach melodic minor as the same ascending and descending, so there's no change. So like I think in classical you ascend melodic minor and descend alien, just regular minor. Which I don't really worry about that too much because I don't do classical. Adds a little flavor. Yep, you got it. I feel like Dave Gilmour has used that technique. Yeah, most likely. Gilmour's probably done everything in some way. The guy's such a genius. I mean, I know he's used different modal sounds with chords, and their overall structure and compositions are just incredible, man. I mean, besides the Beatles, Pink Floyd and the Beatles are my go-tos for melodic structure. I mean, those guys, whew, they really know their stuff for sure. Let's see. Incomfortably Numb. I don't know if it's Incomfortably Numb. I don't think so. I think in Comfortably Numb it's just like mixture between major, minor, that kind of thing. But I don't think there's any melodic minor scale stuff. Let's see. How do you write music quickly like your entries for the solo competitions? Good question, man. You know, it just depends. Like, if I have a song going for a review, or if I have like an entry for a contest or whatever it is I'm doing, I usually do it like within a day. And people might say like, well, that's a rush. Like, couldn't you just wait a day or two? And I probably could. But like, I'll spend, you know, a few hours just sitting there. Maybe it takes me 2 or 3 hours. And I think, okay, what kind of melody can I do? So like, I'll kind of like hum along with it. I'll play some melodies. I record a few, like, you know, I guess you call them like throwaway lines or throwaway licks, just one and done kind of thing. Then I look back at it and I'm like, okay, I'll keep that, get rid of that. So what can I add after that? So I'll play the same lick again, add something to it. So like if I have a lick that it goes like, I'll remember that and I'll do that part again and I'll add to it. Like, okay, next measure. Or whatever, and then I'll listen back and go, well, does that sound good together? Okay, and then I'll record the whole thing once I have it all set up. Like once I have the parts mapped out, then I learn the solo, and then I play it all in one take usually. And I'm like, okay, let's see if I can remember what the hell I did. Try to get the best parts in there, but that's what I usually do for my songs, for like entries and stuff for contests. Now writing songs is a little different. First I start with like a bass, so I mean not bass line, but like an actual like rhythm part. So I'll make something like a. But I think of it like a structure, like if you're singing, I think, okay, intro, verse, chorus, or pre-chorus, then chorus, you know, build tension, release tension, or yada yada. And then I'll have like a solo section where I change key or whatever, because I like to do something different. But hopefully that kind of helps a little bit, man. I don't know if that makes any sense what I'm saying, or if I'm just rambling. Let's see, Robin Ford Love is using it in a blues context. Oh yeah, dude. Robin Ford's amazing with the melodic minor scale. I'm not that great at using it in blues just yet. Like I know you can use it over the 4 or 5 chord. You know, especially like if it's over like an E, like the Hendrix E chord, E7 sharp 9. Like if I'm doing a it just seems to fit better. Like you could use a minor 7 flat 5, but it's not as good. I like that dominant 7 sharp 9. It seems to kind of fit better. Anyways, getting random, sorry. It's in the scales workout, but I'm still working on major. Yeah, for sure, man. No worries. In that lesson pack I made, like I kind of cover a little bit of how to use it, like over certain things, but it's not like a super in-depth lesson, because it's more or less like about the physical application more than actually using it, like in theory. But still a good lesson on how this, like the shapes and everything. It was in the solo or close. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't remember hearing melodic minor used too much in Comfortably Numb, but it might have been. Let's see. Love me a good key change. I feel you, Sharpie. You and me both, man. Nothing like having like a interchange. So like, you know, not to sound like a nerd, which I am, but there's so many things you can do with composition. Like you can do functional harmony, non-functional harmony. I don't know. There's just so many things you can do. Did I ever have times when you thought it would have done, you would have done different parts, something different in an already uploaded contest entry? Sometimes, yeah. Like I'll listen to somebody else's take later, and I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that. You know, like the way they did a subdivision, or maybe like the way they played a lick, or the phrasing they chose to use, or like maybe the scale they chose to use. I'm like, oh shit, well, I didn't think about using that there. Dang. But you know, at the same time, I try not to listen to anybody's takes until after, because I feel like it influences what I do. So I try not to do that. I just listen to the backing track first to make my own sound with it, what comes to my mind, because I don't want to rip anybody off like unintentionally. And then I listen to the tracks, like I said, afterwards, and I see how I compare. I'm like, well, this sounds kind of similar to what I did. I guess this guy has a similar idea or whatever. But yeah, sometimes I'll upload stuff, like even songs for review videos that I have to like meet a deadline, and I wish I had a little more time. But like, I'm like, could have done that differently, but I guess it sounds all right. Yes, I mean it's a hit and miss thing, especially with songs that I write. Like I have a bunch of songs that I have on Spotify, and I'm like, well, this could have been mixed a little differently, maybe, or maybe this would have been a little better if I'd done that, or there's always a woulda, coulda, shoulda thing. I think musicians are always a little bit like that, though, in general, right? We're always a little critical of stuff. But yeah, it gets like, I don't know. It's so much information that like when you're writing stuff, it's like, what do I want to do? You know, do I want to make a regular structured diatonic functional harmony type backing track? Do I want to make a non-functional type backing track? Do I want to make diatonic harmony but then like switch out one borrowed chord? Do I want to switch to a mode? Do I want to, you know, what do I want to do? What impact am I going to create? So I base it all, because there's so many things you can do, I base it all on what I think sounds good to my ear. I'm like, okay, what's going to sound the best to my ear? So I'll kind of experiment with different modes and different things before I pick one thing that I want to do with the chords and whatnot. But then I'm also like, what creates the most tension and what resolves it? And then I kind of go with that aspect too. So anyways, hope that kind of helps a bit more. I trust you implicitly with your own tunes. Well, I thank you, sir. Appreciate that. But yeah, I don't know. It's a trip. I like composing more than I do improvising. Like I like improvising. I can improv and stuff, but I think I'm a little sloppy in terms of improvising. Like just on the spot. Like I can do it. I can wing stuff by ear, no problem. But it doesn't always turn out as great because I get carried away with myself. I'm better at composition than anything, because I can sit down and my skills are really at like thinking what sounds good together, what can I put there, what can I place here, what does this sound like? Like I excel at that. But when it comes to just like, hey, come on stage and let's improv this song you never heard before, I can do it. It's not going to sound my best. I'm going to sound choppy. How do you maintain theory with feel? Oh, that's a good question, man. Two things. Try to like keep a hold of the beat of the song, like the pulse. Like you can try listening like you would with a metronome, right? Like I'll try to play with a metronome and try to use your theory in a functional way, right? So depending on the backing track, of course, like I'm just speaking like theoretically, like you can do this over anything, but it depends on the backing track. So if you have like, let's say like a C sharp minor 11 chord going on, okay, and let's say the timing's like this. Right, that kind of like a phrase. And let's say the bass is doing something like. You got all that going on, right? Try to play with the rhythm where you're not just copying the rhythm, but making your own groove with it. That's the first thing. So timing, I think, is more important in theory to some degree, because if you have really good theory and the timing sucks, that's not as interesting. So yeah, focus more on the groove and the feel with different subdivisions. Use different rests and things. And you can do that with backing tracks or metronome. Metronome preferred, but not the same training. But anyways, when you add the theory part, you're just trying to implement that into the timing, right? So like if I have a metronome going, and I'll show you something of what I do. Just for reference, I'm not going to bore you guys to death with a metronome, but just to kind of show you what I normally, like how I go about finding the groove and everything. Okay, here we go. So say I put it like a slow tempo, and what I'll do is try to find like a feel first. And then but it depends on the backing track, of course. Like if the backing track's whatever, you have to play over that. Like if I was saying earlier, if you're playing a C sharp minor, I'm gonna play primarily C sharp minor pentatonic, but I'm also gonna play the fifth, like an A flat or G sharp minor pentatonic over that, like superimposing. And I'm just gonna focus on the bottom strings here, so like this. So try to play with the groove, but then like try to use those intervallic functions to make more tasteful note choices. Like if you want to do a Dorian type thing. Right, if you're doing something like that, or maybe so it's just a matter of blending the groove and like with different subdivisions and rests and all that, good stuff, and trying to respect the backing track, like what chords are they using, trying to hear it out. Is it dominant 7? Is it minor 7? Is it major 7? Is it a diminished 7? Is it augmented? You got to really like hear like what's happening. Like what is it? Is it a 1-4-5 progression? Is it a 6-2-1? Is it a flat 7? And that'll give you your context. Oh, okay, I can use altered scale on this chord, or maybe I could use Lydian on that chord, or I could use Dorian or whatever, depending on what you want to interchange into. And depending if you want to approach it from functional harmony or non-functional, that's just up to you. But anyways, hopefully that kind of makes sense. Just trying to have fun with it, I think, if anything, if that helps. Let's see here. Nice. You Jummin'. See, I like to get better at being able to follow the chord progression when soloing versus only staying inside the root note scale. Well, I suck at improvising, Jimmy says. That's alright, dude. I think we all do to a certain degree. Like, even I still suck at improvising, and it's just like, it's like Dark Souls, man. Like that video I said. It's like, it really is like Dark Souls. Even time you get a little bit better, it still kind of sucks. It's like, well, damn. Let's get a grind, you know? But yeah, as far as chord progressions go, get really familiar with like your diatonic key, right? And this is gonna sound really boring, but learn your major scale like up and down, all 7 positions. Got 3-note per string pattern. That's what I believe, at least. Learn the theory behind it. Like, okay, well, this is why a major scale exists. Like, you're stacking your thirds and whatever, like, you know, for chord bases and whatnot. And then learn the chords that you can build. So, like, if I'm saying, hey, I'm playing in the key of G major, I know I can play a G major 7 chord, A minor 7, B minor 7, C major 7, D dominant 7, E minor 7. I can play this half diminished chord, you know, F sharp minor 7 flat 5 back to G major 7. Okay, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. You could play, you know, so many different variations of these chords. You can play, you know, ninth chords and major ninth. Learn all your extensions, basically, all that nonsense I'm saying. But the point of that is that when you see a backing track pop up, analyze the chords. It's usually going to be in a key. Most things are functional harmony. Like, you're very rarely going to find a backing track that's non-functional unless it's some weird jazz thing or like some weird prog metal thing. It's usually going to have one specific key. So once you see the chords that are happening and you're like, oh, it's a 6-2-1 or it's a 1-4-5. What I mean by that is, like, if I'm playing a 1 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So if I tell you I'm going to play, oh, I don't know, a 1-4-5 progression, 1, 4, 5, right? Or the blues. And if we want to do kind of a bluesy shuffle here. Right, that kind of thing, like you know, old school blues. Anyways, that would tell you, like, okay, it's just a 1-4-5 progression. Now, when you get the progression figured out, you'll know the key. The progression is the key to the scale. No pun intended. And so that tells you all the stuff you can do. If you want to get fancy with it, then yeah, you could say, like, okay, over the 1 chord I'll play just root or whatever, pentatonic. Maybe I'll play minor pentatonic or major pentatonic. Over the 4 or 5 chord, minor pentatonic. Or you could say, maybe I want to add extra flavoring in. Maybe I'm going to play a root major to minor pentatonic. Then I'm going to go into Mixolydian, right? Then I'm going to go back into minor pentatonic or whatever. But it's just understanding the relationship of the chords to the scale and vice versa and how they're built. So, example. I'll give you an example real quick of something that would be kind of interesting. So let's say I'm doing D minor, G minor, A minor. This would be in the key of D minor, right? The chords give it away. So you just play D minor scale over that. But if you want to spice it up, well, you have to spice up the rhythm first. So let's say D minor. Now here, instead of playing A minor, I'm going to play A altered, right? Or 7 sharp 5 chord. So yeah, still D minor, but over that, I'm going to play A altered. Right, so I guess you got to get a really solid foundation of what you do, like over the chords and how you build the chords and the scales, and everything else kind of comes in secondary. Like modes and everything will come in secondary. Harmonic minor, melodic minor comes in secondary. Everything's based off of the major scale and its intervallic functions. Anyways, hope that kind of makes sense. I'm just rambling here. Have a good night, Lester. Everyone. You too, Clutch. Thanks for coming by, my dude. Hope you have a good one. You should wear that chin stash on your live streams. Oh man, that's great. I I got a chin stash galore over here stashed away. Where is it? Is it These are my wonderful mustaches coming up in my next skits. I have a few left from Amazon, or as you call them, chin stashes. So you'll have more of those to look forward to. Let's see. Sorry. It's times like this I wish to God I took lessons. Oh, it's never too late, man. If you want to take lessons, hit me up, man. I'll be happy to help you out. I'll get you going. I promise. Let's see. Hell yeah, Sharpie says. Heck yeah. He speaks as naturally as breathing. That's funny, man. Yeah, I'm a nerd. I'm a big nerd, so I'm glad it sounds natural, I guess. Thanks, man. No worries. No problem, dude. Have a good night, everyone. Work gets here too fast. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that, Craig. But yeah, thanks for coming by, dude. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your Sunday night, dude. But yeah, there's so much music stuff. I try not to overtalk. So, like, if I get going too much, you know, it's not on purpose. It's just like there's a lot in there in my brain. And then like, I end up rambling. I don't mean to do that. It's kind of annoying on my part. But hey, Cody, what's up, dude? Oh, it's all right, dude. Better late than never. Appreciate you coming by, my friend. Good to see you. Hope you've been well. We're just talking about music stuff. Nerdy music stuff. It speaks to your likely utility as a teacher. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, there's some stuff I forget, like, you know, there's certain things I can't recall off the top of my head. Like, if you ask me certain cadences and certain music theory aspects, I have to remember. Like, okay, yeah, this is, you know, interrupted cadence or whatever, but stuff I don't usually think about that often. Nowadays, like when I'm playing, I don't really think about any of this stuff. It's kind of second nature now. It's like I've internalized it to the point where I don't think about what I'm playing at all. It just kind of comes out, and then I'm like, what the hell was that I just did? Oh, that was cool. I just did a little thing there. And it's like it's instinctual now. From interval training and things like that, you know, from chord training and just the theory training I did over the years. Which is kind of the point, I think. Like we talked about earlier, like when Bruce Lee says, you know, fill the cup to empty it kind of thing, right? Like you learn everything to unlearn it. It's kind of the point I'm at now where I'm trying to unlearn certain things and just let it become an action instead of a thought. Which is kind of tricky. Let's see here. How to make a solo not just a bunch of licks put together, but an interconnected piece of music? Good question. Nice gold top. Thanks, Cody. I love happy accidents. You and me both, Jeff. You and me both. You don't know scales, and all I can play are from tabs. I really have considered taking lessons. That's all right, dude. Nothing wrong with tabs. I teach primarily tabs nowadays. I never use music sheet anymore because I honestly hate writing it out and typing it out. But yeah, dude, if you ever want to take lessons, like, I don't have contracts or anything. You can just do like a one-time lesson. You don't have to come back if you hate it. It's pretty chill. If you want to do that, you can hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, or my email. My email is lestermitchellguitarist@gmail.com. But I can help you out, dude, with tabs and stuff like that, or whatever it is you're looking to do. I'm not going to like make you play Bach or whatever. we're pretty laid back. But yeah, as far as what Robert said earlier, answering that question, how to make a solo sound like music, basically. I think the key to that, again, goes back to like understanding the background of the music. Like, okay, what are the chords that are being used? But also the tempo. Like, you have to really understand like the pulse of the music and like what the drum beat's doing, because you don't want to get in the way of the drummer and you don't want to get in the way of the rhythm guitar player. So like you got to think in terms of like, how can I complement the music, right? And how can I help build tension and create resolve? Those are the three things you got to think of. How can I fit in and communicate effectively without taking or stepping on anyone's cornflakes? You know, that's the big thing, timing. How can I, you know, bring out the best of the music? Not just myself, but how can I create more emotional context, which is going to lead to number 2, which is building up tension with certain note choices to create resolve, so climax or dynamics. So what that would be like is you take less notes, right, for the start of it, and use only shredding as like a means to an end. What I mean by that is use shredding or fancy licks only for tension or resolving, one of the two, but don't use it just as your main bread and butter. So what I mean by that is, like, if you have a background and it goes like this, right, a typical minor kind of rock. what I'm going to do is instead of just shredding the whole time, use that shred as a means to an end in only certain aspects. Keep melody as the center focus. That's like your meat, right? So I'm going to use pentatonic as my bread and butter here. So over this chord, I'm going to use something pentatonic like... But you got to play with the timing, because if the timing's not there, it's not going to sound good, no matter how good the note choices are. So you really got to like pack it in there with the timing of stuff, right? I'll show you guys a quick example with a backing track, just so I can kind of show you real quick. Man, I love those sus2 chords. Oh, me too, man. Add 9, add 2 chords are so fun. What is Cody saying? Most songs are just 3-chord progressions. If you want something non-musicians will listen to, then you have an easier job than metal music production. Yeah, most 3 or 4 chord songs exist in general populated music, like you're saying, like radio-friendly music. But let's see here. Let's give you guys an example. I'm just gonna pull up a random backing track, okay, and we're gonna show you some ideas real quick here. I'm gonna use a backing track I've never used, just so you know. I'm giving you like an unbiased approach to what I would actually do here. So I'm just gonna type in modern metal backing track. It doesn't matter what key, I guess. Alright, so real quick here, I'm going to put on just a random one that I have not listened to. Here we go. Modern prog rock metal backing track in E minor. Alright, E minor is a standard key, so that'll work for most people.
10 or 15 years,
That's a loud commercial. The regulations, guys, the regulations. Alright. So, give a good listen to the background, right? Weird timing. So, I'm not going to make a shred thing over this just yet. I'm going to try to find something melodic. So, let's think what I can do here. Simple. So weird timing of that track. It's not normal. Kind of weird. So I had to like kind of switch up the timing there, which normally I would let like the music breathe a bit more, but it's really like kind of weird. So this here is like it's such an awkward backing track. So like trying to pick some kind of melodic structure with pentatonic. But use those shred lines, like this one I did, as a way of like exiting out of something from a chord, not to stay there the whole time. So like, you know, if I'm playing something, like I said, just keeping those notes. Like that kind of thing, right? Because I'm adding those specific sections just to, you know, create tension is the whole point, I guess I'm trying to get at. Let's see here. 10 ways to politely cut off your buddy's extra long solo improvs. That's funny, man. Oh my gosh. You'd want to listen to it a few times. Yeah, exactly. Give it a few listens and just go for it, man. Just try to put yourself out there. That's my best advice for you. Sounds backing track. Yeah, let's see here. I can't tell you exactly which... I can't share the link because I'm not connected with my phone to this, but It says it's called Modern Prog Metal Backing Track in E minor. So you can't see my phone because it's connected to my thing here, but Modern Prog Metal Backing Track. It shows a picture of like, it looks like a PRS or something. Kind of cool. A little weird, but pretty cool. Let's see. What do you call technically this thing of playing the right note every time and not a wrong note? I also want to learn this. Do you write something considering will someone listen to it, or just write it for the sake of writing? Interesting question. I mean, it just depends, man, because like there's there's wrong notes, but not really a lot of wrong notes, if that makes any sense. It's just kind of like, to get to a point where you're playing notes that sound more appealing, I guess is what you're probably asking, like instead of playing notes that don't sound right. It comes from just muscle memory, like playing the scales over and over and over and over again, like learning the positions of the scales. But it's also, like I said, goes back to the theory and the harmony, like learning like how to build chords from your scale. If you don't know how to build chords from your scale, you're not going to get there. If you don't know your 7 chords in the major scale, you're not going to get there. So you got to learn the chords, the theory behind how to build the chords from the scale. You got to learn the 7 positions of the scale. And if you do that and you really get it solid, everything else will get a lot easier as well. So I think that's how you get more proficient personally. You know, I'm not trying to brag at all by saying this, by the way. But like a lot of people I've worked with, I've taught them from like the very beginning, like we're talking like Smoke on the Water level, like bare beginner, like, you know, just starting out, like some teenagers, you know, just barely picking up the guitar. And within a year to 6 month period, I've had people like playing, you know, like crazy stuff, like the solo for one, like note for note, or playing like Tornado of Soul solo. I've had, you know, I have a kid right now I'm working with. He's like 16. He's been playing 1 year, and I taught him from Smoke on the Water all the way to Tornado of Souls. Tornado of Souls. I can't talk. Tornado of Souls, not the Tamale of Souls, according to my speech there. The Tamale of Souls. But anyways, my point is just getting proficient with the theory and the playing is something that just takes time, and you just got to put the work in. As far as what you write for, it just depends what you want to write for. Like me personally, I write music because I just love writing music, and I just do it for myself. I do love sharing that music with people. So like, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like, you know, I'm not against people listening to it and saying, hey, that's a cool song you made, Lester. That'd be a really cool inspiration for me to keep writing music. But I don't rely on it, especially nowadays, because creativity isn't really that like welcome. Like it's more about covers nowadays. Like creativity is not like, I don't know, it's not an all-time high for that kind of thing anymore, at least. So I just do it for myself primarily. Let's see, I'll search it out. The groove is interesting. Yeah, it's really weird. Very like offbeat. You're just playing jazz then. Yeah, you're playing some kind of an altered scale somewhere, or, you know, diminished or whatever. But yeah, having said that, I hope this kind of makes sense what I'm saying. I get a little ADD when I'm talking to myself or multiple people, because it's not like when I'm in a lesson with somebody, I can usually help them out. Like, you know, I can guide in one conversation piece, get to know what somebody's, you know, asking. But like this kind of thing, I get sidetracked pretty easily. So forgive me. As much as I love shredding and playing all this technical stuff, it's more for my own personal thing. Like, I love shredding and playing that stuff, but it's not really like the most musical, obviously. And so I try to limit it in my songs to like just specific sections to build tension, like I said. Having said that, you're probably never going to find like a job as a session player or, you know, a music person shredding or playing crazy technical stuff. It's just not going to happen unless you're like Steve Vai level or Matteo Mancuso level. And even that's going to be a niche thing for people. It's not going to be like an everyday listening pleasure for people. Like, oh yeah, just the other day, you know, I hung out with 300,000 people. We all got to jam out to some Satriani outside. This is not going to happen. I love that music. It's my favorite. You know, I'm a nerd into that stuff. But, you know, people are more likely to just say, play Tuesday's Gone by Leonard Skinner. Play that song instead. I don't want to hear this other junk. Play Leonard Skinner. You saw my video on Max Ostro being a great guitar player. Could you tell what makes someone a great guitar player apart from fame? Yeah, for sure, man. And Jeff says, now you have to listen to my originals. Appreciate that, dude. You can check out my Spotify. Spotify is in my... it's in my link somewhere. I might even have it in the description box. But if you just look up Lester Mitchell, I should pop up, hopefully. I got like a bunch of albums on there and stuff. But anyways, yeah, so Max Ostro being a good player, what makes a good player? Okay, so what makes a good player, in my opinion, is three things. Timing, that's the number one. How cleanly you are, like how articulated and clean your playing is without mistakes, like with noises and stuff like that. I'm not the best at that either. I'm a little sloppy, so I can't say much, but that's a big one. And three, your melodic choices of what you're using, like your knowledge and application. Because theory is one thing, but it's pointless if you can't apply it. So application and theory go together, like a yin-yang thing. So again, timing, number one. Technique, articulation, precision, number two. And three, the theory and what you want to use. But that's just my opinion. And what other people think is proficient playing or good playing is going to vary from person to person. Like, I'm a nerd that likes specific music. So, of course, I'm going to be more, like, into shreddy, tight, virtuoso type guys that are going to be better than me. You know, that's what I look up to. It's obviously not going to be, like, something that's not that. Some people might like the opposite. They might say, hey, you know, we're into really just sporadic, whatever goes, you know, Gary Hoey type music, or, you know, what's the other guy's name from Living Colour who plays pretty good? Vernon Reid. He's kind of got his own wild thing going on. That's fine, too. Not my favorite guitar player, but I know some people that, you know, are diehard Vernon Reid fans, and hey, he's obviously a good guitar player. But anyways, did I grow up in Kentucky? Nope, just California. Everyone can contribute. That is true. Everyone can contribute, man. Everybody's got their own style. Everybody's got their own taste. So, I mean, what I think, it doesn't really matter. I'm just some random guy in California that's a nerd that plays guitar in his studio apartment on YouTube. So, you know, I mean, what I think isn't really that important. But, you know, in the long-winded things, it's totally up to you what you like and, you know, whatever floats your boat, essentially. You know, people ask me, like, oh, well, what kind of music do you listen to in your free time? You know, do you listen to this? Do you listen to that? Do you listen to, like, straight death metal? I don't even listen to metal anymore. Like, I used to listen to a lot of metal. I don't. Like, I used to. Sometimes I listen to some metal bands if they catch my interest, but I'm not, like, actively looking for it. I spend my time listening to the oldies, you know? Like, I listen to, like, the Beatles and Sting, you know, the Police, stuff like that. I love listening to that kind of music, you know? I even go back to, like, swing music, you know, from the old days, like Tony Bennett. I got Tony Bennett's greatest hits, or some singer guys like Michael Bolton. I love Michael Bolton. I mean, I like a bunch of weird music. You know, obviously I love shredders. That goes without saying. I listen to, you know, Greg Howe and all these crazy guys. Guthrie Govan, you know, Andy Timmons, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, Jason Becker, you know, Paul Gilbert, you know, all of them. I love all of them. I have all their CDs on my computer. Vinnie Moore, my favorite. Tony McAlpine. But anyways, it just depends on the music you like, whatever you listen to. What inspires you to play music, you know? Because everybody's got different music, man. Let's see. Play the music that forms in your head as you sleep. There you go. That's a good way to put it. But having said that, hopefully that kind of answered your question, Robert. I don't know. It's such a tricky thing to answer, so it's I know not the best answer, but I tried. Having said that, I hope you guys are having a good night out there. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me so far. What is this here? Oh, yeah, Alexi Leo is my favorite guitarist, and he definitely has some speedy chops. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, Alexi's amazing. I was lucky enough to see them live back in the day. I saw Children of Bodom live, and that dude, I didn't know who he was at the time. Like, I didn't know who Children of Bodom was. I was really young. I was like a teenager, and I saw him shredding, and I was just, like, blown away, dude. They opened up for Megadeth, and so, like, I got this whole, like, first I got shredded in the face of by the Alexi guy. They're just keyboard solos, everybody's soloing. I was blown away. I went and bought their albums not long after that. And then, if that wasn't enough, Chris Broderick came out, you know, on the Megadeth part, of the tour, and then he starts just doing 8-finger tapping and shredding my face off, and I was just like, what the hell is happening? Everybody's tearing me apart, man. When I left, I was so amped up on adrenaline. I was like, whoa, holy crap. People are tapping everywhere. But yeah, I was lucky enough to see Alexi, and I wish I would have seen Ollie Herbert, because that guy was amazing too, but I didn't get to see him. Let's see. Madison Cunningham, baritone. I'm not sure who that is, but, you know, again, they're probably awesome players for sure, without a doubt. But anyways, hopefully you guys are having a good Sunday out there. I'll probably call it a night here pretty soon. I gotta do boring adult stuff like make dinner and all that. Boring adult things. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me so far. I appreciated it, and hopefully you guys are entertained with my nonsense and random sloppy noodling. It's been interesting, I guess we could say that. But yeah, new videos coming up on the way. I got some lesson content on the way about these specific topics, actually. I've been meaning to make lessons on, like, theory stuff and some, like, improv and picking techniques and just various stuff I'm working on. More skits on the way, too, because why not? But yeah, super cool. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you haven't seen my last few videos, be sure to check them out. I have this review video on the AIO guitar if you want to check it out. I just uploaded that, and I did a Trivium contest entry. Love it if you guys could show your support on that one. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about these things in the comment section, or if you have any other ideas, you guys hit me up on my email at lesdermitchellguitarist@gmail.com. I will see you guys next Sunday, unless something crazy happens, like the Earth implodes, which I hopefully doesn't happen. Until then, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your Sunday and the rest of your week, and I will catch all of you guys next time, where we do our random shenanigans and all that other good stuff. Alright guys, I'm out of here. Peace in the East and all that other good stuff. Alright. And I think we are now officially exiting out, so it's going to take a second. But yeah.